Chapter 3073. Great Blue Empire's Ba and the Blue Universe Battle Group are all secretly alarmed. They never expected that this god king could grasp such a dreadful technique and have such powerful control over souls. Qin Yun, quickly kill me, quickly kill me. General Meng Kai shouted. Originally, the avatar was very safe. If something happened or fell into someone else's hands, as long as he was willing to give it up, it would be fine. But after falling into Qin Yun's hands, it would be very difficult to give it up. Meng Kai is very regretful. He should have decisively given up the avatar soul when he was captured. Kill you? How can I have the nerve to do that? Now all the kingdoms know that I killed 100,000 soldiers. They will say that I am very cruel. Besides, you're a guest. You came all the way to our god Desolate, so I have to be polite. So I'll let you, a general, live. When the time comes, if someone says that I am bloodthirsty, I will say that General Meng Kai is still alive and I let him live. General Meng Kai is a powerful existence that far surpasses the divine space realm. I am as weak as an ant. I am not qualified to kill General Meng Kai. Qin Yun smiled and looked at General Meng Kai. Meng Kai has the appearance of a young man. He has a pair of black cat ears. His face shape is rather fair and tender. He looks very handsome. Even if he has a bitter expression, his face is still very good looking. What do you want? Meng Kai knows that Qin Yun will ruthlessly torture him. Your true body can help me inform other kingdoms, right? Qin Yun said with smile. General Meng Kai, I will have to trouble your avatar to be my mouthpiece. Fuck you. Meng Kai cursed in his heart. He is a grand general of the exotic cat kingdom. He actually wants to be a mouthpiece. His true body can indeed help Qin Yun pass on a message to other kingdoms, even a great Luo empire. It is truly a very good mouthpiece. However, Meng Kai has a noble status in the exotic cat kingdom, yet he wants to become a human mouthpiece. To him, this is worse than death. As for torturing your soul, I don't want to, but I am afraid that you will not cooperate. So I will first let you know the consequences of not cooperating. Qin Yun took out the Divine King Heavenly Seal and Primal Beginning Divine Mirror. I promise to pass the message for you. Meng Kai shouted. There's no need to do that. Of course, of course. Otherwise, General Meng Kai wouldn't be a good mouthpiece. Qin Yun said with a smile. No. I will definitely cooperate with you and be a competent mouthpiece. General Meng Kai said anxiously. He did not doubt Qin Yun's methods at all, so he was afraid. General Meng Kai, your main body should be very strong, right? Your main body soul is definitely not weak. Maybe when I torture your avatar's soul, your main body soul will be completely fine. Qin Yun said, if your true body is fine and you become my mouthpiece, wouldn't that be a huge loss? The people of the Great Blue Empire nodded to themselves. This General Meng Kai hadn't even ascertained whether his main body could withstand the pain of his avatar's soul, yet he was already so terrified. General Meng Kai, let's take a gamble. If your avatar's soul is tortured and your main body's soul can't feel the pain, then you won't have to suffer humiliation in my hands. Qin Yun said with a smile. Meng Kai cursed in his heart. He indeed felt that since his main body soul was so powerful, if his avatar's soul was tortured by Qin Yun, it might not feel any pain. Should he give it a try? If it was really painful, it would be very unbearable. Moreover, he might be tortured even more miserably and be manipulated even more by Qin Yun. If the pain of his avatar's soul could not be transmitted to his main body, then he would be fine and could even curse Qin Yun. It must be known that his avatar's soul was tampered with. This kind of situation is very special, so no one knows what the result will be. Meng Kai clenched his teeth and shouted, Come. Qin Yun said with a smile. General Meng Kai, this is your request. If someone asks in the future, you can't say that the God King of Divine Desolate is very cruel. You can't say that I abused you and threatened you to be my mouthpiece. It won't be good if this gets out. Meng Kai cursed Qin Yun in his heart. Killing 100,000 of their cat-eared people was not cruel. Now, the cat-eared people truly experienced Qin Yun's methods. It was indeed very terrifying. Becoming his enemy was simply courting death. I'll begin torturing your avatar's soul. This is your request. Don't blame me. Qin Yun used the godly monarch heavenly seal to press down on the primordial divine mirror, shooting out a golden beam that struck Meng Kai's head. In that instant, Meng Kai felt as if his soul was suffering all sorts of pain. This sort of pain was like the accumulated pain of tens of thousands of people for many years, and then it all poured into his soul. Grandpa Qin, I was wrong. Please spare me. My main body is in great pain. I was really wrong. Please spare me. Grandpa Qin, I'll kowtow to you, Meng Kai cried, begging for mercy incoherently. The effect exceeded Qin Yun's expectations. He never expected it to be so good. It immediately sent Meng Kai's mind into a mess. Did the crown prince really say that he would turn my wife into a lowly slave? Qin Yun asked indifferently. Yes, he said at a gathering. I was lucky enough to sneak into that gathering. He said it in front of many people. He also said that the divine sun goddess would become his plaything. Meng Kai knelt on the ground and kowtowed, not daring to raise his head. Be my mouthpiece, tell the other kingdoms and the great Luo Empire not to enslave the divine desolate people of divine desolate. You're all middle and upper class people. Don't you think it's too degrading to come to divine desolate to bully us pitiful lower class people? Qin Yun said coldly. Yes, we were wrong. Meng Kai's voice trembled. Great Luo Empire and other kingdoms, if you have any problems, come at me. Don't attack the weak beings of divine desolate. In the future, if any of you middle and upper class people enslave the divine desolate people, I will make it impossible for you to establish a foothold in divine desolate. I will take revenge on your kingdoms. I will definitely pass on this matter to the other kingdoms and the great Luo Empire. Meng Kai said. He finally saw the power of the divine desolate divine monarch. Qin Yun looked at the sky and said, the 8th divine sun is about to appear. When the 9th divine sun appears, the people of divine desolate will not be bullied by you. He put Meng Kai's mouthpiece into an area of the heavenly lion dragon suppressing cauldron and imprisoned it. Then he controlled the heaven-leaping shuttle and flew to the ancient heavenly moon city to meet with Gao Linqing's clone. The scouts of the major factions hurriedly returned to report the situation of the battle in Strange Cat King City. Although it was a battle between divine space realm experts, the scouts from the upper-class world were still shocked. The result of the battle in Strange Cat King City quickly reached the ears of many big shots. They found it hard to believe. Chapter 3074. The scouts had not only witnessed the battle with their own eyes, but had also used a device to record everything they had seen. The scouts were glad that they had recorded everything, or their boss would never have believed what they had said, because it was simply too outrageous. The Exoticat Kingdom had suffered a crushing defeat this time. 100,000 troops had been wiped out, their general had been captured alive, and the entire Exoticat royal city had been destroyed. Even a small portion of the warriors sent by the Daluo Empire had perished. The power that Qin Yun had displayed had deeply shocked the other kingdoms. The kingdoms knew that Qin Yun was not to be trifled with. They also knew that they had to be careful in the divine wilderness in the future and not cross Qin Yun's bottom line, or else they would be hunted down for revenge. In addition, after this incident, the various powerful tribes of the divine wilderness would most likely become more united and follow Qin Yun, the divine king. Once Qin Yun could unite all the powerful tribes of the divine wilderness, the 7 kingdoms would not be so comfortable in the divine wilderness. The main reason the 7 kingdoms had come to the divine wilderness was for the divine universe goldstones. To them, the divine universe goldstones were the most important. They would obtain large amounts of divine universe goldstones and transport them out of the divine wilderness for those above the 9th level of the divine space realm to use. If they offended Qin Yun, it would not be so easy for them to obtain the divine universe goldstones. The divine wilderness was very large. Even if the 7 kingdoms came, as long as they did not cause any damage, the native creatures of the divine wilderness would not be affected much. In addition, the nine suns sacred ground had the most divine universe goldstones. With the strength of the seven kingdoms, it would not be a problem to mine them. Most of the people of the divine wilderness had limited strength, so they did not dare enter the nine suns sacred ground. They could only move around in other regions of the divine wilderness. The seven kingdoms also began to formulate a new plan. Although they were all middle-level people, they could at most send ninth-level divine space realm cultivators to the divine wilderness. They had originally thought that if they sent ninth-level divine space realm cultivators to the divine wilderness, they would be the strongest and could crush the people of the divine wilderness. They had not expected that the native tribes of the divine wilderness would not be weak. Putting Qin Yun aside, when the eighth divine sun appeared, the accompanying powerful tribes would not be something the seven kingdoms could handle. Once the ninth divine sun appeared, the powerful tribes that accompanied it would definitely be able to resist the seven great kingdoms. When that time came, it would be even more difficult for the seven great kingdoms to survive. Even the Daluo Empire might not be able to live comfortably. Before the eighth and ninth divine suns appeared, Qin Yun's presence was enough to deter the seven kingdoms, preventing them from stirring up trouble in the divine wilderness. The strength that Qin Yun had displayed had already won Gao Linqing's approval. The other two Outerverse representatives had already sent people to contact Qin Yun and arrange a time to meet with him. In a city of the ancient Heavenly Moon clan, Qin Yun arrived at the village-style inn and met with Gao Linqing again. "Boss Gao, thank you very much for your battle group. If it weren't for them, I wouldn't have had such a smooth journey this time," said Qin Yun with a smile. "There's no need to be humble, Boss Qin. Our great blue warriors were clearly no match for the Origin Luo warriors. If not for Boss Qin's secret help, the great blue warriors would never have been able to defeat the Origin Luo warriors." Gao Linqing waved his hand and smiled. One of his avatars was a spy. He was also present at the scene, but Qin Yun did not know about it. "Mr. Qin, to tell you the truth, our great blue empire is no match for the Daluo Empire," Gao Linqing said seriously. "Why are you so sure now? Isn't it just a battle between people in the ninth level of the divine space realm? A mere ninth level divine space realm shouldn't be able to reflect the strength of the Daluo and great blue empires, right?" Qin Yun said with a frown. "No, the Daluo Empire is better equipped. Their divine space power and mental energy power are stronger, and their heavenly divine universe bone is also slightly stronger." Gao Linqing shook his head. "Our great blue empire's battle group was also nurtured with a large amount of resources, but it is still far from the Daluo Empire's. This shows that our great blue empire's foundation is lagging behind. The great blue empire could not send any stronger people. At most, they could only send someone in the ninth level of the divine space realm. No matter which empire it was, they were all very curious about the strength of other empires. The Daluo Empire was no exception, which was why they wanted to capture the great blue warriors alive." Qin Yun suddenly felt a little worried and asked, "After the Blue Universe Battle Group returns, will they be punished? They're all very good, obedient, and tried their best." The ninth level of the divine space realm was not worth much in the Great Blue Empire. Although they had repelled the Daluo warriors this time, they were fundamentally inferior to them. That won't happen. We still need them to provide more detailed information about the battle. This will allow us to better understand the gap between us and the Daluo Empire. Gao Linqing said, "Our Great Blue Empire also needs to learn from stronger empires." Qin Yun felt a lot more at ease. Then let's talk about cooperation. Gao Linqing had said that he wanted to buy a complete set of tools to make the elegant smoke, and the price was 500 billion divine universe goldstones. What surprised Qin Yun was that Gao Linqing was actually willing to pay 100 billion more, making the total 600 billion. He gave Qin Yun 300 billion as a down payment, and he would give the other half after the goods were delivered. Then, Qin Yun gave Gao Linqing his contact information and told him to go to the Divine Moon Race to buy tobacco from them. As for the matter of selling the Heavenly Divine Universe Bone, Qin Yun and Gao Linqing had a tacit understanding not to talk about it. Qin Yun still had a lot of divine universe goldstones on hand, adding them up to 700 billion. If he hadn't used 300 billion to kill the 9th level Daluo warriors, he would already have 1 trillion. Boss Qin, if you want to recruit a 9th level divine universe realm expert, it's best not to get one from the Great Blue Empire. It's too easy to be exposed, Gao Linqing said. The people of the Blue Cosmos all had blue skin. Once their armor was broken, it would be exposed. The Great Blue Empire didn't want to be enemies with the Daluo Empire right now, lest the Daluo Empire became envious and hated them in the future. I understand. Qin Yun nodded. The other 2 Outerverse ambassadors want to talk to me. They look the same as the people of the Divine Wilderness, so I'll see if I can recruit 9th level Divine Universe realm experts from their empires. Although they are all from the Outerverse, they are willing to cooperate as long as there are benefits. The reason we cooperate is because there are benefits. Gao Linqing smiled. Boss Qin, I hope we can continue our friendly cooperation. Qin Yun and Gao Linqing shook hands, then left the city of the ancient Heavenly Moon clan. He went to the city gate and waited to meet the 2 Outerverse ambassadors. The Divine Wilderness had already changed, and the kingdoms were sending more and more people. The 9 Suns Sacred Grounds barrier had been removed, and there were already barbarians and extraterrestrial life forms leaving the 9 Suns Sacred Ground to wreak havoc in the Divine Wilderness. As for the Daluo Empire, their main focus was on the 9 Suns Sacred Ground. They wanted to go through that passage to the barbarian universe. A large carriage arrived at the city gate, and Qin Yun brought Ba Taiyin and the others up. Hello, Boss Qin. I am the Horling Universe's ambassador, Jiang Ming. Jiang Ming was a middle-aged man with a smile on his face. He didn't seem to put on any airs. Chapter 3075. Jiang Ming addressed Qin Yun as Boss Qin, meaning that he wanted to do business. In other words, Jiang Ming did not want to have a conflict with Daluo Empire, so he could not secretly send 9th level Divine Space Realm warriors to Qin Yun. Nice to meet you, Qin Yun said with a smile. I have heard of your cooperation with Boss Gao. In our universe, we also have something like cigarettes, but the easy smoke is better than ours. Jiang Ming said. Qin Yun heard this and subconsciously thought that Jiang Ming was trying to lower the price. Jiang Ming quickly said with a smile, Boss Qin, I'm not trying to lower the price. To be honest, Boss Gao also wanted to buy a complete set of technology from us, but it didn't go through. He said that yours is better. Jiang Ming took out a box of cigarettes and handed it to Qin Yun. Qin Yun was not a veteran smoker, but he could still distinguish between good and bad cigarettes. After he took it, he tore apart a few cigarettes and burned them in his palm. He took a breath and knew that this cigarette was very different from Easy Cigarette. The tobacco was completely different, and there was something else added. It is indeed different from my Easy Cigarette, and it is not modified from Easy Cigarette. Qin Yun nodded. Because our Hualing Empire already has it, we can't buy a complete set of cigarette-making equipment from you at a high price. Easy Cigarette cannot form a monopoly in our Hualing Empire. If we want to open the market, we must invest a lot. Jiang Ming said. Boss Gao used 600 billion to buy automatic manufacturing equipment from me. If I sell it to you, it will be 300 billion. Qin Yun said. This is also the price in my mind. Jiang Ming said with a smile. Boss Qin is really easy to talk to. Then I will give you half of the deposit. All right. Qin Yun shook hands with Jiang Ming and then began to receive the Divine Universe Goldstones. He took out the boxes one by one. Qin Yun poured the Divine Universe Goldstones into the 9 Yang Divine Spirit and returned the box to Jiang Ming, allowing him to continue packing. After the discussion, Qin Yun did not ask anything else and was sent off by Jiang Ming. After Jiang Ming's carriage left, a large ship flew over. It seemed that the ambassadors of these empires had made an appointment. Qin Yun was invited to board the very large flying ship. After boarding, he saw a middle-aged man with a tiger waist and bear's back. He laughed heartily and said, Divine King is so elegant. Seeing it with my own eyes, you are indeed extraordinary. I, Qin, am merely a minor character in the divine desolate heavens. Qin Yun said with a smile, "Brother, may I know which universe and empire you come from?" "I am from the Great Flood Cosmos." "In the Great Flood Cosmos, the strongest power is the Great Flood Empire." The middle-aged man smiled. "However, I'm not from an empire. I'm from the Great Flood Cosmos, Nine Dragons Kingdom. My name is Long Jin Chuan. This Great Flood Cosmos wasn't an ambassador sent by an empire, but a kingdom." "Brother Qin, are you wondering why the strongest empire of the Great Flood Cosmos didn't send an ambassador?" Long Jin Chuan patted Qin Yun's shoulder and said with a laugh, "You definitely won't be able to guess why." "Then why?" Qin Yun asked. "Because the Great Flood Empire is too powerful. They don't care about the resources of the divine desolate heavens. They can't be bothered to come. Therefore, the Nine Yang Dharma spirit came to our Nine Dragons Kingdom. The Great Flood Empire doesn't lack resources because they occupy the majority of the Great Flood Cosmos resources. They don't lack us, so I came." Long Jin Chuan said with a smile, "Brother Qin, I'm just an avatar. My true body is quite strong. I'm a Marquis in the Nine Dragons Kingdom and was conferred the title of Golden Dragon Marquis." He was actually a Marquis. Even a Marquis in a kingdom had an extremely high status. There weren't many Marquises in a kingdom. "Golden Dragon Marquis, how can we cooperate?" Qin Yun asked directly. "Our Nine Dragons Kingdom is considered an abnormal existence in the Great Flood Cosmos. There are several kingdoms in the Great Flood Cosmos that are at war with each other. Behind the scenes, the Great Flood Empire is the mastermind behind all these conflicts." Long Jin Chuan said, "Because our Nine Dragons Kingdom hasn't participated in wars for many years, we have developed very well." When Qin Yun heard this, he knew that the Nine Dragons Kingdom had developed very well. In the eyes of the Great Flood Empire, it was a very fat pig ready to be slaughtered. This Qin's cultivation is only at the third level of the divine space realm. The experts in your kingdom all far exceed the ninth level of the divine space realm. I can't help you much." Qin Yun shook his head. "Brother Qin, don't be humble. Your potential is astonishing. Moreover, you are the divine king of the divine wilderness. Your divine wilderness is very special." Long Jin Chuan said with a smile, "Don't worry. My cooperation with you is not for you to help us fight against the Great Flood Empire." Qin Yun didn't quite understand. He looked at Long Jin Chuan with a puzzled expression and asked, "So, our cooperation is just business?" "Yes and no. We have to do business, but we also have to cooperate in other areas." Long Jin Chuan said, "Currently, I am only cooperating with Brother Qin. I cannot represent the Nine Dragons Kingdom." Qin Yun still didn't understand what Long Jin Chuan wanted to do. "Brother, if the Nine Dragons Kingdom is destroyed in the Great Flood Cosmos, then we will have no way out. If the Nine Yang Dharma Spirit helps us and gives us a path to enter the barbarian race's universe, then we will have a way out." Long Jin Chuan said. Qin Yun immediately understood. The Nine Dragons Kingdom wanted to borrow a path. The Nine Yang Dharma Spirit was indeed powerful. It could connect to many universes. If the Nine Dragons Kingdom was defeated by the Great Flood Empire, then if they didn't run away, they might be wiped out. The Nine Dragons Kingdom needed a way out. "Why don't you submit to the Great Flood Empire?" Qin Yun asked. "In our Nine Dragons Kingdom's heritage, there is no such thing as submission. Our Nine Dragons Kingdom stands aloof from worldly affairs and has never thought of fighting against the Empire. However, the Empire and the other kingdoms always think that we are fighting against the Empire." Speaking of this, Long Jin Chuan's face was full of anger. "I don't know if the Nine Yang Dharma Spirit can open a path to let you go to the barbarian race's universe." Qin Yun shook his head. This was a big matter. He couldn't make the decision. "I hope Brother Qin can help me and find a chance to ask the Nine Yang Dharma Spirit." Long Jin Chuan said, "This matter is not urgent. The Great Flood Empire is just using the other kingdoms to provoke us. We still have plenty of time." "All right, when I can contact the Nine Yang Dharma Spirit, I will ask it." Qin Yun nodded. "Brother, this is a small gift." Long Jin Chuan passed a storage divine tool to Qin Yun. Qin Yun opened it and was secretly shocked. There was actually a large number of divine universe goldstones and divine universe, heavenly bone inside. This is 200 billion divine universe goldstones and 5,000 kilograms of divine universe, heavenly bone. Long Jin Chuan smiled and said, "Brother, regardless of whether this matter succeeds or not, this is my personal gift to you. Don't feel too pressured." Chapter 3076. Furthermore, it was just for Qin Yin to ask the Nine Sons Dharma spirit. Qin Yin has a good impression of Long Jin Chuan and is willing to help him, but he never thought he would receive such a big gift. Brother Jin Chuan, this gift is too big. Qin Yin also knows that this is not only a gift, but also a very important favor. I already said, this is my personal gift to you. It has nothing to do with the Nine-Sun Law Spirit opening the passage. If you contact the Nine-Sun Law Spirit, regardless of whether it is willing or not, I will give you another generous gift. Long Jin Chuan said with smile, "You are currently lacking in resources. The Nine-Sun Law Spirit allowed us to enter the Nine-Sun Holy Land. We can obtain more Divine Universe golden stones and Divine Universe heavenly bones there. The Nine Dragon Kingdom could only send 9th-level Divine Space Realm experts, but they entered the passage. Their spies also went to the Barbarian Race Universe, so the Barbarian Race Universe is their destination. As for the universe where Divine Desolate is, there's Great Luo Empire and the 7 Great Kingdoms. Even if the Nine-Sun Law Spirit allowed them to come, they would not agree. Many thanks, Brother Jin Chuan." Qin Yin also accepted the gift because he still needs to further cooperate with the Nine Dragon Kingdom. If he did not accept it, maybe Long Jin Chuan would not cooperate with him. "Brother Qin, do you want to recruit 9th-level Divine Space Realm experts from our Nine Dragon Kingdom?" Long Jin Chuan said with smile. "Great Blue Empire and Huoling Empire. They don't want me to recruit people from their empires." Qin Yin nodded. "That is because they are afraid of offending the Great Luo Empire. I have to say, the Great Luo Empire is very strong. As long as it is an empire, they do not want to be enemies with this kind of powerful empire. But our Nine Dragon Kingdom is not afraid. We have already offended the Great Hong Empire." "Brother Jin Chuan, what is the main strength of your Nine Dragon Kingdom?" Qin Yin asked. "We all have the bloodline of a dragon in our bodies. Let me put it this way. In your universe, most people are born as dragon eggs. When they grow up, they can transform into humans. That's how it is, right?" Long Jin Chuan asked. "What about you?" Qin Yin nodded. "We are born as babies. After growing up to a certain point, we can transform into dragons. We are humans who have transformed into dragons, and we have many different forms of dragons. The most powerful of us have 9 forms." Long Jin Chuan said. "So that's how it is. That's really amazing." Qin Yin said in astonishment. He is wondering if the Nine Dragon Kingdom's people and the Heavenly Dragon Race's dragons are related by blood. Qin Yin was still lacking a dragon bloodline heavenly pattern. He originally had one, but it was only a dragon egg bloodline heavenly pattern box that he obtained from Long Shu. The complete dragon bloodline heavenly pattern box should be in the hands of the All-Sky Dragon Emperors. This All-Heavens Dragon Emperor could be considered to be in charge of a powerful race. He was supported by the Myriad Realms' Divine Sunday. Therefore, the All-Heavens Dragon race was also very powerful. It would be very difficult to obtain the box from the All-Heavens Dragon Emperor. However, Qin Yin still had a breakthrough point. From time to time, he would contact Long Shu and ask for her help. "Brother Qin, if you need the 9th tier of the Divine Space Realm, I can give them to you, but they have to be willing. I can't force them to follow you. You have to rely on your own ability to make them swear loyalty to you," Long Jin Chuan said. "That's for sure. A forceful melon won't be sweet." Qin Yin smiled. "I have confidence in my own ability. It's just, can I make them fight against the Daluo Empire's warriors?" Long Jin Chuan frowned slightly. The Daluo Empire's 9th-tier Divine Space Realm warriors are extremely powerful. Our Nine Dragons Kingdom's ordinary 9th-tier Divine Space Realm warriors are no match for them. The empires are the upper class, while the kingdoms are the middle class. There's a huge gap between the two, which is reflected from birth. This kind of innate gap requires a lot of effort in the later stages to catch up. Qinyan naturally knew that. Even the Great Blue Empire's 9th-tier Divine Space Realm Warriors were no match for the Daluo Empire's 9th-tier Divine Space Realm Warriors, let alone the Nine Dragons Kingdom. Don't worry. I will make them strong enough to fight against the Daluo Empire. I won't send them to their deaths, Qinyan said. I trust you, Brother Qin. When we attacked the Exotic Cat Kingdom, it was you who secretly made the Great Blue Empire's warriors retreat, Long Jinchuan said. He was very curious about what Qinyan had done, but he didn't ask. In his opinion, it was definitely a secret. Brother Qin, how many 9th-tier Divine Space Realm warriors do you need? Long Jinchuan asked. 3,000. Is that okay? Qinyan said. Long Jinchuan's eyes widened. 3,000 9th-tier Divine Space Realm warriors was a relatively large number. Although the 9th-tier Divine Space Realm was trash in the middle class and the upper class, they could quickly pass this stage. There were not many who stayed at the 9th tier for a long time. Because there was no future in this cultivation level, it would be difficult to suddenly need a large number. My Nine Dragons Kingdom also needs a large number of 9th tier Divine Space Realm warriors, mainly in the Nine Sun Sacred Land. Long Jinchuan frowned. Brother Qin, to tell you the truth, 3,000 9th tier Divine Space Realm warriors is too much. We definitely can't do it in a short time. If you're willing to wait, I can give it in batches. Batches are fine too. Qinyan could understand Long Jinchuan's difficulty. 300 per batch. I will divide it into 10 batches. As for whether you can make them pledge loyalty, it will depend on you, Brother Qin. Long Jinchuan said, also, these people at the 9th tier of the Divine Space Realm have all advanced from the 7th or 8th tier of the Divine Space Realm in a short period of time, so they are not elites. Even we do not have any elites, please understand. I can understand, Qinyan said with a smile. Great Blue Empire also can't take out that many. This is because of the special reason of Divine Desolate, so the various empires and kingdoms can't take out many 9th tier Divine Space Realm warriors in a short time, let alone elites. We will meet again in 10 days. Long Jinchuan said. Goodbye. Qinyan left Long Jinchuan's ship, entered the Heaven-leaping shuttle with Ba Tien and others, and then returned to Heaven's Secret Sect. This time, Qinyan also gained a lot from meeting the ambassadors of the two universes. He also has more than 1 trillion Divine Universe Golden Stones in his hands. He also wants to quickly increase his cultivation, but he still needs to make the automatic smoke-making equipment. This is not particularly difficult. It just needs time. This kind of work can only be done by Qinyan and Lingyan. Of course, Qinyan can also make the Sky Universe Overlord smaller, then control this puppet to participate in the production. It can also speed up the process. While Qinyan is making the equipment, Menkai is shouting from inside the heavenly lion dragon suppressing cauldron. Master Qin, my main body has already passed on your words. Menkai shouted. What is their reaction? Qinyan asked. Temporarily no reaction, but I guess that great Luo Crown Prince is very angry. Maybe he will concentrate his power to deal with you. Menkai said. Chapter 3077. The Luo Crown Prince? How will he deal with me? Qinyan was really not afraid. Strange Cat Imperial City was so big, and there was a strange cat army there, but it was still destroyed by him in the end. As long as the Luo Crown Prince did not surpass the 9th level of the Divine Universe Realm, there was nothing to be afraid of. If he did, he would not be able to come to the Divine Desolate. The Nine Sun Lost Spirit was not to be trifled with. I don't know, but the Luo Crown Prince will definitely have a way. Master Qin, you must not underestimate the power of an empire. It is very terrifying. Menkai said. Then do you think the Luo Empire will use the method of enslaving the people of the Divine Desolate, like your Strange Cat Empire, to force me to appear? Qinyan asked. If it was the same move again, he would have to prepare again. No, definitely not. Menkai said with certainty. The Luo Empire will definitely not do such a thing. They disdain using such a method. They will definitely deal with you openly. Qinyan snorted. Why should they target me? Just because I am the Divine King of the Divine Desolate, they don't like me? In the Luo Empire's opinion, Everything in this universe belongs to the Luo Empire. Master Qin, you are called the Divine King of the Divine Desolate, making them feel that the Divine Desolate belongs to you, so they want to get rid of you. Also, the Nine Sun Lost Spirits method of cultivating the Divine Sun is very terrifying. If this method is mastered by humans, then in the future, there might be someone who can shake the Luo Empire's position. Meng Kai said, in that case, the Luo Empire still values me? I thought they looked down on me. Qin Yun said, they indeed look down on you, thinking that your strength is very weak. What they value is you in the future. Meng Kai said, if Master Qin can obtain the Nine Sun Lost Spirits' inheritance of cultivating the Divine Sun, you will definitely be able to break through the level limit, and in the Divine Desolate, you will not be restricted by the Nine Sun Lost Spirit. The Nine Sun Lost Spirit only restricted those above the 9th level of the Divine Universe realm from entering the Divine Desolate, but it did not restrict those above the 9th level of the Divine Universe realm. In other words, under the protection of the Nine Sun Lost Spirit, the beings in the Divine Desolate could enter the middle level, but the Luo Empire could do nothing. Unless the great Luo Empire was willing to shed all pretense of cordiality with the Juyong magic spirit. The consequence of shedding all pretense of cordiality was that multiple universes would be blasted open by the 9 Yang Dharma spirits. Then, multiple universes would fuse, and there would definitely be multiple empires fighting each other. If a few more barbarian universes were to explode, it would definitely be even more chaotic. The great Luo Empire was living a good life. They would rather let the people of the divine wasteland grow up than engage in a chaotic war with the empires of other universes, because it would be very easy for them to be destroyed. I want to see what the great Luo Crown Prince can do to me in the heavenly Divine Desolate. Qin Yun was not afraid of the great Luo Crown Prince at all. He was only afraid that the great Luo Crown Prince's avatar would not come. He wanted to find the great Luo Crown Prince's clone and teach him a lesson, letting him know how powerful Master Qin was. After 4 days of seclusion, a gigantic myriad world divine sun suddenly appeared in the sky. The 8th divine sun had been born. Even though Qin Yun was in multiple layers of space, he could still sense the commotion caused by the birth of the 8th divine Sunday. He immediately left the heaven's secret sect and went outside. It was currently daytime, and 8 myriad world divine suns appeared in the sky. Furthermore, there was a belt of light connecting them to each other. If one looked carefully, one could see that the 8th divine sun was releasing a beam of light that pierced through the other myriad world divine suns and transmitted energy to them, helping them become stronger. The 8th divine sun has finally appeared. As expected, each one is stronger than the other. Qin Yun said with a frown, how exactly is the 9 Yang Dharma Spirits divine sun cultivation method cultivated and operated? Why is it that the myriad world divine suns cultivated are each stronger than the other? After the 8th divine sun appeared, it immediately caused the other myriad world divine suns to become much stronger. This kind of obvious increase greatly affected the entire heavenly divine desolate. Because of the appearance of the 8th divine sun, the babies born later might be born with divine universe, heavenly bones, or have extremely high cultivation. Standing in the heavenly divine desolate, one could clearly sense that the entire land had greatly improved. Under the ground and in the sky, dense divine universe power floated. Qin Yun took out the heavenly lion dragon suppression cauldron and let Meng Kai feel the power of the heavenly divine desolate. If the 9th divine sun appeared, then this would be a perfect high-level heavenly earth. It would be even better than the heavenly earth of the great Luo Empire. Meng Kai exclaimed. He was very envious. The Strange Cat Kingdom's heavenly earth had long since dried up. Later on, it even exploded, causing them to have no choice but to wander the universe, searching for other divine suns to create heavenly earth and rebuild their home. I wonder how many changes have occurred within my 4 divine suns. Qin Yun could not enter the myriad world divine suns, not even the 4 divine suns. The appearance of the eighth divine son caused the entire heavenly divine desolate to be in an uproar. The appearance of the great Luo Empire and other kingdoms caused the native living beings to be suppressed. Now that the eighth divine son had appeared, it could allow them to become stronger in a short period of time. At that time, they would no longer be afraid of the foreign kingdoms and empires. The people of the Divine Desolate can't beat the great Luo Empire, at least not in a short period of time. Menkai said, the resources of the empire are there. Furthermore, their main focus is on the Nine Suns Sacred Land. Xinshatsi came to Qin Yun's side and said in a low voice, Boss, Queen Long Shu sent a letter. She has an important matter to discuss with you. All right, I'll go see her now. Qin Yun has been in frequent contact with Long Shu recently. The main reason was to obtain the most primitive dragon bloodline heavenly pattern box. Long Shu also wanted to help Qin Yun obtain it. In her opinion, the bloodline heavenly pattern box would be even more valuable in Qin Yun's hands. It would definitely make the heavenly dragon race stronger. Qin Yun arrived at the Heavenly Moon Ancient Clan City and went to a restaurant. He entered a private room and waited for Long Shu's arrival. At this moment, everyone in the city ran out to see the birth of the eighth divine Sunday. The eighth divine sun was transmitting energy to the other divine suns. It was truly a spectacular sight. It was as if a huge beam of light was connecting all the myriad world divine suns together. Qin Yun sat in the private room and looked at Zhu Xin's son and second divine Sunday. He did not know if Xiao Yuelan and Xiao Yueme were in the core or not. Suddenly, someone opened the door and entered. Qin Yun immediately looked over. Long Shu entered. Her brown hair is a bit messy. Her eyes are bloodshot and her face is deathly pale. Her body is wrapped in thick white fur beast skin clothes. Long Shu, what happened to you? Qin Yun could tell with a glance that Long Shu's condition is very bad. With the appearance of the eighth divine sun, the weather will be slightly hotter and Long Shu is very afraid of the cold. I'm injured. Long Shu gasped for breath and anxiously said, Qin Yun, quickly save me. Only you can save me. Chapter 3078. Long Shu's condition is very bad, but she doesn't seem to be seriously injured. However, her expression is very unsightly, as if she is enduring something. Qin Yun immediately went over to support her. When he held her hand, he felt that it is very cold. Originally, Queen Long Shu was a powerful beauty filled with wild nature. But now, her aura has completely disappeared. Her eyes are filled with anxiety and fear. What exactly made Long Shu become like this? She must have suffered a great fright. What made you like this? Qin Yun threw away all the things on the table, grabbed Long Shu, and placed her on the table. Just now, he used Heavenly Eye to look at Long Shu's body and discovered that there's a very strange energy at the location of her heart. Her divine cosmos seems to be wrapped up by something. Long Shu is lying on the table and gasping for breath. Her complexion is becoming more and more haggard. It is clear that it was very difficult for her to arrive here. It's too complicated. Quickly save me. Long Shu's voice is very weak. Qin Yun looked at the location of Long Shu's heart. She is currently breathing rapidly, causing her body to move up and down. Long Shu used to have a set of white armor that was released from her body. But now, because her injuries are too serious, she cannot release that armor. Quickly, Long Shu said in low voice. Back when Qin Yun helped her improve her bloodline and let her bloodline heavenly rune fuse with Bai Su Xin, Long Shu did not mind at all. I am worried that there might be something. Qin Yun did not have any misgivings in this aspect. He is already very close with Long Shu. He took out the divine king heavenly seal and tightly held it in his hand. He pointed the seal at Long Shu's chest and released a light beam that entered Long Shu's heart. Ah! Long Shu suddenly screamed in pain. Her fists are tightly clenched. At this time, Qin Yun quickly tore open Long Shu's clothes and saw a red light seal at the location of her heart. The light seal looks like it is formed from runes. There is something inside the light seal. Qin Yun used the divine king heavenly seal and vigorously pressed down on the light seal. After the seal was pressed down, he raised his hand and saw a black ball stuck on the surface of the divine king heavenly seal and being sucked out. Qin does not know what it is. He took out a pearl and used the divine king heavenly seal to press down on the pearl, sealing the black ball inside the pearl. Long Shu also suffered great pain just now. She tightly clenched her teeth and did not shout. Even Qin Yun admires her perseverance. That black mass seemed to have grown many needles and pierced into Long Shu's heart. It was extremely painful to pull it out all of a sudden. There's more. Long Shu's breathing became much smoother as she whispered, "What the hell is this?" Qin Yun opened his heavenly eye and scanned Long Shu's body from inside out. Then he took off all her clothes. Long Shu's arms, legs, back, waist, front, and back were all covered with this kind of red light mark. There were even some on the back of her neck. There were more than 100 of them, some very small, some very big. There was even some at the bottom of her jade-like feet. He didn't know how it got into her body. Starting from her head, Qin Yun used the godly king heavenly seal to extract the mysterious evil things from her body. And most of them were her beautiful long legs, especially the back of her legs. Long Shu is currently lying on the table, enduring the pain. Her whole body is sweating. Qin Yun has already reached her legs. This is the most concentrated part. Next will be even more painful. Endure it a bit more. It will be fine very soon. Qin Yun said softly, "Don't worry. You will be fine very soon." Qin Yun also feels somewhat apologetic in his heart. He believes that Long Shu must have done something for him. That's why she suffered such a vicious attack. Not long after, Long Shu's legs returned to their former beauty. Her skin is smooth and jade-like. He promptly took out a large jade vat and poured in a kind of water that emits white light. This water is transformed from white divine Yang's energy. Qin Yun carried Long Shu and placed her into the jade vat. Long Shu's spirit has recovered a lot. Her face is ruddy. She looked at Qin Yun and said with a smile, "You also worked hard. Come down and join us." "No need." Qin Yun remembers that this female dragon king is very open. "I thought I was going to die." Long Shu extended one of her long legs out of the water. Fear appeared in her eyes. What the hell is going on? Qin Yun sat beside the jade vat and asked Long Shu. All Heaven's Dragon Emperor is dead. Long Shu placed her leg in the water. Her expression is filled with sorrow. Our All Heaven's Dragon race is finished. The newly unified dragon race will soon split. Qin Yun is very shocked and immediately turned silent. All Heaven's Dragon Emperor is dead. The Heavenly Mandate Dragon Lake is filled with mysterious and formidable power. Moreover, it is also a treasure land. All Heaven's Dragon Emperor's strength is not weak at all. This powerful race also received the help of Nine Sun Law Spirit. All Heaven's Dragon Emperor's cultivation increased very quickly. It is said that he cultivated a lot of divine universe, heavenly bone in his body, but now he is dead. Qin Yun was thinking of cooperating with the All Heaven's Dragon race. After all, this is a powerful race of All Heaven's Divine Desolate. Their potential is enormous. Now that Long Shu suddenly appeared and brought this news, Qin Yun found it hard to accept. The little monkey has also fallen into their hands. He might already be dead. Long Shu's eyes are filled with sorrow. They're also filled with incomparable hatred and killing intent. Qin Yun is startled. The Monkey King of the Monkey Dragon race is actually dead. That was also his friend. Who? Qin Yun took a deep breath and suppressed the anger in his heart. Great Luo Empire. They want to snatch the dragon bloodline heavenly pattern box. Long Shu said while gnashing her teeth. This is actually Great Luo Empire's doing. With the dragon bloodline heavenly pattern box in the hands of the All Heaven's Dragon Emperor, Great Luo Empire might have already taken control of the entire dragon race. How is the All Heaven's Dragon race now? Qin Yun asked. The Heavenly Mandate Dragon Lake has been destroyed. With the death of the Dragon Emperor, the entire dragon race has become a pile of loose sand. The Dragon Bloodline Heavenly Pattern Box has fallen into Great Luo Empire's hands. Our dragon race is finished. Snatch the Dragon Bloodline Heavenly Pattern Box back. Are you sure they obtained the dragon bloodline heavenly pattern box? Qin Yin said while pacing back and forth. I'm sure. This happened a few days ago. There is no hope we can't snatch it back. They might have already sent it away from Divine Desolate. Long Shu nodded. Qin Yin shook his head and said, No, the dragon bloodline heavenly pattern box is definitely still in Divine Desolate. They want to use the 8th Divine Sun to create powerful life forms through the box. The Dragon Bloodline Heavenly Pattern box was sealed by Great Luo Empire, so they should be very clear about the current situation of the box. Through the Bloodline Heavenly Pattern box, powerful beings could be created. Great Luo Empire needs hired thugs. Sending them from Great Luo Empire's headquarters is definitely not enough. It would be better to directly create them in Divine Desolate. The life forms created by Dragon Bloodline Heavenly Pattern Box will have very powerful Dragon Bloodline Heavenly Pattern Box. They will definitely be very strong, enough to form a very powerful faction in Divine Desolate. Qin Yun said. Long Shu said with frown, but they're very strong. How are we going to snatch it back? Do you know where they are? Qin Yun asked. Chapter 3079. Long Shu did not reply immediately. If she died, it would not be a big deal, but she cannot harm Qin Yin. She definitely knows where the Dragon Bloodline Heavenly Pattern box is. She is hesitating whether or not to bring Qin Yin there. Long Shu was chased by Great Luo Empire before. She was lucky to escape from death and deeply experience the strength of Great Luo warriors. She does not want Qin Yin to take the risk. I'm not afraid of them. Bring me there. Qin Yin said seriously, the Dragon Bloodline Heavenly Pattern box must not fall into their hands. Otherwise, the Dragon Emperor and Brother Monkey would have died for nothing. If the Dragon Bloodline Heavenly Pattern box is in their hands, they will create many dragon life forms and use their powerful dragon bloodline to slaughter all living beings in the Divine Desolate. Qin Yin immediately guessed what Great Luo Empire wants to do. In order to adapt to the rules of Divine Desolate, Great Luo Empire needs a large number of Divine Space Realm experts. Just relying on the 7 Great Kingdoms was not enough, and it was impossible for the Great Luo Empire to continuously send people in the 9th tier of the Divine Space Realm to the Divine Wilderness. Their Great Luo Empire's 9th tier of the Divine Space Realm could be continuously broken through, and not many people would stay in the Divine Space Realm for too long. An empire needs a large number of experts surpassing the 9th level Divine Space Realm to ensure sufficient strength to deal with future invasions from other universes. No, Great Luo Empire's people are very strong. There are many 9th level Divine Space Realm experts. Moreover, their equipment is very dreadful. We will not be able to defeat them. Long Shu shook her head. I recently made Great Luo Empire suffer a great loss. Qin Yin told Long Shu about his attack on Strange Cat King City. Long Shu naturally knows about Strange Cat King City. Knowing that Qin Yin once again destroyed the city, she stood up from the white jade vat in shock. Qin Yin admired Long Shu's wild beauty and said, Queen Long Shu, don't worry, I will definitely take back the box. This thing is very important. It cannot fall in a Great Luo Empire's hands. Otherwise, it will be a great danger to all the races in Divine Desolate. All right, I will bring you there. But promise me, if you can't defeat them, you must run away. Long Shu said. I promise. Qin Yin nodded. If you don't listen to me, I will fuck you to death. Long Shu narrowed her eyes, then moved closer and kissed Qin Yun's lips. Qin Yun originally thought that he would only be kissed. Who knew that Long Shu would hug him and then drag him into the jade vat? What are you doing? You've been hit by that damn thing. Your vitality will be greatly damaged. Moreover, we still have to take back that box. Qin Yun is struggling in the water. Only now did he realize that he is not as strong as Long Shu. I'm recovering very well. Long Shu smiled and said, Qin Yun, I thought I was going to die. On the way here, all I could think about was you. Before I died, I actually kept thinking about you. Now that I'm fine, of course I have to fulfill my dying wish. What the hell? Aren't you still alive? You can't treat your savior like this. Qin Yun shouted. Queen Long Shu, we still have something important to do. We must quickly recover that box. Is there anything wrong with me devoting myself to you? Long Shu smiled. Don't worry, we won't need much time. What? Are you looking down on me? Qin Yun seemed to be provoked and stopped struggling. Long Shu laughed disdainfully. After an unknown period of time, Qin Yun feels that his vitality has been greatly damaged, but the process is still very good. Long Shu is actually very good. Her entire being is very spirited. Qin Yun recalled that she is a tree dragon and also fused with by Su Xin's white divine sun. Her recovery speed is very fast. In the end, she is not a human. It is very normal for me to suffer a bit, Qin Yun said in his heart. Long Shu's body began to emit white light, and then transformed into a set of beautiful white armor. Her slender body now looks very valiant and formidable looking. Her long curly brown hair made her look even more wild and charming. Queen Long Shu, I treat you as a good friend, but you keep trying to get on top of me. Qin Yun curled his lips and said. His clothes were torn by Long Shu just now. You have so many women, it doesn't matter if you have me or not. Moreover, you didn't suffer any losses. Long Shu took out a long staff and said with smile, You are a divine king. If I have a chance to get on top of you, I can't miss it. Qin Yun is speechless. However, he believes that the main reason why Long Shu fancied him is because of his charm. He saved Long Shu and their relationship is very good. He feels that Long Shu is not good with him because of his appearance. He still does not believe that women like him so much because of his good looks. He was unable to accept what the Nine-Yang Dharma spirit had said, that it had created a mystical and handsome face for him that would allow him to easily attract women. Long Shu, I want to ask you a question. You must answer me sincerely. Qin Yun asked. I loved you. Long Shu directly replied. I'm not asking this question. Qin Yun waved his hand and said, All right, did you fall in love with me because I am a divine king? Or because I am good-looking? Or because I saved you? You must answer me truthfully. Long Shu thought for a moment and said, Because you are good-looking. This is the main reason. Qin Yun is stunned. Long Shu actually looks at one's face. What? If it was an old man and he was a divine king and saved me, do you think I would fall in love with him? Long Shu touched Qin Yun's face and said with smile, Xiao Yun, to be honest, the more I look at your face, the more I like it. I don't know why, but it seems like you're even more beautiful than before. Qin Yun slapped her hand away. He still can't accept it. Long Shu looks at one's face. Is this really a world that looks at one's face? Qin Yun and Long Shu walked out of the private room. Ba Taiyin and other brothers are outside. They did not say anything. They only feel that their boss is always changing women. Qin Yun placed Yu Yao Yao inside the Nine-Sun Divine Soul together with Ling Yun. She also released Young Kuan Peng to play with Yang Yang and others. Originally, Yu Yao Yao wanted to come out, but Qin Yun told Ling Yun that he is doing something important and told her to stall Yu Yao Yao. Qin Yun still has many things on hand, for example, the tools to make the elegant smoke and the 9 dragon warriors brought by Long Jinchuan. He doesn't know how long he will be gone with Long Shu, so he arranged for someone to wait for Long Jinchuan in the city. If he doesn't come back by then, he will have that person tell Long Jinchuan to wait for a few more days. Inside the heaven-leaping shuttle, after Long Shu confirmed the location, she pointed it to Qin Yun in the main control room. Long Shu can sense the existence of the dragon bloodline heavenly pattern box because she was born from that box. That box is like her mother's fetus. She sat beside Qin Yun, closed her eyes, and constantly released her mental power to strengthen her perception. Even though the heaven-leaping shuttle is piercing through space, she can still sense the location of the dragon bloodline heavenly pattern box. Quickly stop. Long Shu suddenly opened her eyes and said anxiously, They are coming. Chapter 3080. Complete version. Update the latest chapter of the Nine Suns Divine King as soon as possible. Qin Yun is very shocked. Great Luo Empire's people actually came here. What's going on? Why are they here? Are they looking for me or you? Qin Yun said in astonishment. They should know where I am. After all, this is Great Luo Empire. They even put that thing in my body. Long Shu said. Qin Yun took out a lot of that black evil energy from Long Shu's body. It is not poisonous or living thing. It is a kind of strange energy. Qin Yun doesn't know what it is, but after it enters a person's body, it will release a very painful feeling, stabbing pain all over one's body. If one's willpower is not enough, they will be tortured until their whole body is torn to pieces. On the way to this city, I wanted to grab those things out countless times, but I resisted in the end. I told myself that I must not scratch my body, or else you won't like me anymore, Long Shu said. Qin Yun took out a pearl that has the black energy sealed inside. Long Shu's heart jumped when she saw this energy. She is very afraid of this kind of thing. Great Luo Empire has many evil methods. It seems like they sensed your location before, so they are rushing to that city. Qin Yun said with frown. Long Shu nodded and said, that should be the case. Qin Yun told Ba Taiyin and others to stay in the heaven-leaping shuttle and let them come out when needed. Ba Taiyin and others are very strong. If they're sensed by Great Luo soldiers, they might become very vigilant. Therefore, it is better for Qin Yun to let them stay in the heaven-leaping shuttle. Qin Yun and Long Shu went out and said they should be going to Fog Moon City. Fog Moon City is not far from here. We can get there in less than half a day. Long Shu looked all around and said, I passed by here before. They're floating in the sky. Below them is a dense forest. Long Shu is a tree dragon. There are many trees below her. Therefore, she relied on the power of the trees to suppress the pain. Therefore, she has a good impression of what is below her. How far are they from here, and how fast are they? Qin Yun asked. The Origin Luo warrior had the bloodline heavenly pattern box with him, so Long Shu could sense that the box was moving and knew that the warrior was coming. Their speed isn't very fast. This group of fellows doesn't seem to be in a hurry at all. Am I already a dead man in their eyes? Long Shu was a little unhappy. It's just that I can't determine their number. It would be great if I could. Qin Yun looked at the sky. It is now morning, and there are 8 myriad worlds' divine suns in the sky. 2 hours later, the divine sun's radiance would become even more intense. There shouldn't be many people, at most a few, Long Shu said. Then I'll start setting up traps. If there are more people, my traps will be very useful. If there are fewer people, I can easily take them down. Qin Yun landed with Long Shu and took out 9 small dragon carved altars. They are the 9 dragons' heavenly origin formation. The 9 dragons' heaven origin array later evolved into the divine universe 9 dragons array, but Ling Yuner said that it was better to call it the 9 dragons' heaven origin array. Qin Yun has not used this formation for a very long time. The main reason is that the 9 dragon carved altars have always been too weak. Fortunately, he obtained a large number of divine universe heavenly bones and used a portion to strengthen the dragon altar. Now he can draw on divine sun energy from the 9 sun divine soul. This 9 dragons heavenly origin formation has not been completely remodeled. Otherwise, he would have used the God King heavenly seal to bestow power. Now he is only using the God King heavenly seal to draw in the 9 sun divine souls divine sun energy. The dragon carved altars became very small and slowly descended into the forest. Long Shu, make the plants avoid my small altars. Try not to let people see any traces of the plants moving. Qin Yun said. All right. Long Shu's eyes flickered. The plants at the 9 positions below immediately made way for an empty space. The 9 dragon carved altars the size of a small house drilled into the ground. Then the trees quickly moved and covered the previous positions, not leaving any traces of movement. Qin Yun took out the black energy from Long Shu and placed it into a tree hole in the middle of the 9 dragons' heavenly origin formation. Then he brought Long Shu into one of the altars. Long Shu and Qin Yun are inside the altar. They can see everything outside through the trees. Long Shu is a tree dragon, so she can sense trees. And Qin Yun has the dragon tree totem. In addition, he has slept with Long Shu before, so his senses are even stronger in this aspect. Long Shu has never cultivated the Sun-Moon Heart Sutra. Qin Yun plans to send her to the Divine Moon race in the future to learn it. Little Yin, will this trap of yours really work? Long Shu is somewhat worried and said, those fellows are very strong. They are warriors of the great Luo Empire. Their entire bodies are made of divine, universe heavenly bones. So what? I have killed quite a few of them before. I even took the divine, universe, heavenly bones. Qin Yun said, I am the God King of the divine desolate. My God King heavenly seal is not carved out of carrot. Is that so? My little Yin is really amazing. I did not sleep with you for nothing. Long Shu's eyes are suffused with a fanatical light. Qin Yun said, Long Shu, the heavenly dragon emperor is no longer here. The heavenly dragon race of the divine desolate needs a dragon emperor. I can make you stronger and let you lead the heavenly dragon race. I am not a purebred dragon. I can't. Long Shu shook her head and said, how about this? Let your baby dragon girl be the dragon emperor. I think Yu Qing is very suitable. Long Yoqing's baby dragon girl can be the heavenly dragon emperor? She can't. Qin Yun promptly shook his head. Long Yuqing doesn't have the slightest bit of female emperor appearance. Long Yuqing is one of the core members of Xiao Yuanmei and Hong Mingshu's sneaky little group. Then who should I find? Long Shu has never thought of becoming a dragon emperor. My parents are not here. If they are here, it would be very suitable. Qin Yun thought of Long Ju, the former immortal desolate dragon emperor who is now in the Nine Yang Divine Palace's Dragon Palace. There are many dragons in the Dragon Palace who can become dragon emperor. Qin Yun's father is a fire dragon and his mother is a primal chaos divine dragon. I can also become dragon emperor, but I need to have very formidable power, otherwise all the dragon race won't accept me. Long Shu said. Long Shu and Monkey Dragon King are not purebred dragons, but they were bred by the dragon bloodline heavenly rune box. Monkey King is like Long Shu's younger brother. Therefore, Monkey King's death caused her to feel very sad. This is not a problem. In the future, other dragon race will appear in heavenly divine desolate. They will become stronger and stronger. If you want them to acknowledge you, I will surely make you stronger. Qin Yun said, it's a pity that little monkey is no longer here. If I had his help, I would be even more stable. Long Shu somewhat sadly said. Chapter 3081. A complete copy update the latest chapter of the Nine Suns Divine King as soon as possible. If his soul is still here, maybe there's a way to revive him. Qin Yun said. The little monkey's soul might have been captured by those fellows. Long Shu suddenly became excited. She immediately grabbed Qin Yun's arm and said, Xiao Yun, didn't you say that great Luo Empire needs a large number of slave fighters? Indeed, they need large amount of souls. Qin Yun nodded and said, creating living beings required a large number of souls. Even if the souls had no consciousness or were damaged, it was fine. That little monkey's soul might be collected by them. Long Shu clenched her fists and sighed. Forget it. Perhaps there's no hope. It's already good enough that we can retrieve the box. I will definitely do my best. Qin Yun held Long Shu's hand and gave her confidence. Long Shu also had feelings. The Monkey King was like her biological younger brother, her family. Thank you. Long Shu suddenly felt hope in her heart. She knows that Qin Yun's ability is very formidable. Maybe he can really resurrect the Monkey King. Not long after, Long Shu sensed that someone had arrived above the forest through the trees. There are 5 of them, Long Shu said excitedly. There aren't many of them. The box is with them. 5? That's great. I can take them down. Qin Yun closed his eyes. Through the trees in the forest, he could see the people flying in the sky. They were all wearing golden armor. Those guys' armors have very strong defense. Long Shu said, it's forged from divine universe heavenly bone. Qin Yun said after a closer look, these fellows are different from the Grand Luo warriors I met before. Their armor is rather special. Although the Grand Luo warrior Qin Yun had encountered before was also clad in golden armor, there were no dragons carved on it. The 5 people flying above the forest all had dragon engravings on their armors. Those dragon engravings formed very powerful heavenly runes. Can we take them down? Long Shu was a little worried. It was fine if they couldn't take them down, but it wouldn't be worth it if they were injured. How was the Heaven's Dragon Emperor killed? Asked Qin Yun. More than 100 warriors from the Daluo Empire suddenly appeared. They wanted the Dragon Emperor to swear loyalty to them and sign a soul contract. The Dragon Emperor refused, so they started a war with them. In the end, they were defeated. The Destiny Dragon Lake was destroyed, and the box was taken. Long Shu sighed. Some Dragon Kings have no choice but to pledge allegiance to them in order to save their lives. Most Dragon Kings would rather die than pledge allegiance. Great Luo Empire is enslaving the living beings of Divine Desolate. I will not let them off. Qin Yun furiously said. Let's talk about it later. If we want to fight against Great Luo Empire, we need the entire Divine Desolate to unite. I believe that you can do it. Long Shu is very confident in Qin Yun. Not long after, the 5 Luo dragon warriors arrived at Qin Yun's trap. They entered the tree hole and saw more than 100 of those pearls. I never thought that the mother tree dragon could extract our enchanted dragon blood. A dragon warrior picked up a bead and frowned. How did she do it? It's still sealed in the pearl. How could the enchanted dragon blood be sealed by a lower being? Another dragon warrior picked up the pearl, and she even placed it here. Could it be that she has set up a trap? The leader of the dragon warriors was not afraid at all. It's fine if the lower-level beings are weak, but they're also brainless. The traps they set up can't do anything to us. Being weak will limit their growth of wisdom. But that mother tree dragon might also be brainless because her chest is too big. Great Luo dragon warriors laughed loudly and said, Qin Yun and Long Shu can hear the conversation inside the tree hole from inside the altar. The tree is very big. It is not crowded for the few great Luo Empire dragon warriors to enter. Their voice is not low. It is hard not to hear them. Long Shu's expression is very angry. Her expression is very gloomy. These wretched bastards. Long Shu knows that she cannot defeat the great Luo dragon warriors, so she can only endure. They insulted my woman. I will not let them off. My woman, the reason why your breasts are big is because of me. Qin Yun kissed Long Shu's face and said in soft voice, Don't be angry. Wrinkles will appear. Watch how I teach them a lesson. Qin Yun opened the 9-dragon heavenly origin formation, and myriad realms divine sun in the sky suddenly released divine power. 9 divine lights fell on the ground and entered the 9-dragon altars. The most formidable part of the 9-dragon heavenly origin formation is that the sun dragon totem inside can absorb myriad realms divine sun's energy. Qin Yun's Divine King Heavenly Seal cannot absorb Myriad Realms' Divine Sun's energy, but Myriad Realms' Divine Sun's energy can still be absorbed by the Sun Totem. After the 9-dragon Heavenly Origin formation is opened, the barrier is formed. As expected, Mother Tree Dragon, hurry up and come out. The great Luo Dragon Warrior shouted. Qin Yun did not go out. He wanted to see if his 9-dragon Heavenly Origin formation can trap the great Luo Dragon Warrior. Qin Yun took out the Heavenly Lion Dragon Suppression Cauldron and patted it. He asked, General Clocktower, I met a few great Luo Dragon Warriors. Their armor has dragon carvings. What is their background? Menkai immediately replied respectfully, Master Qin, these great Luo Dragon Suppression Cauldron have powerful dragon blood in them. Their armor is also made of Divine Universe dragon bones. Such warriors are usually great Luo Empire's royal family warriors. They are very strong. How strong? Qin Yun asked. 10 of those great Luo dragon warriors might not be able to defeat one of them. But there are very few great Luo dragon warriors, and even fewer at the 9th level of the Divine Universe realm. These dragon warriors must have been trained in a short period of time, Menkai said. The great Luo Empire's royal family members are very strong. Their warriors must have far surpassed the 9th level of the Divine Universe realm. These dragon warriors must have been trained in a short period of time to be sent to God Desolate. They might not be very strong. In other words, their equipment is very strong? Qin Yun asked. Just as he finished asking, the earth violently trembled. The dragon warriors are attacking the barrier. Yes, the preparation is very strong. Moreover, they have dragon blood and divine universe dragon bones. Meng Kai said, I got it. Let me see if I can send them in for you to trample on. You can kill time or use them as sandbags, Qin Yun said. Many thanks, Master Qin. Meng Kai immediately said gratefully. Qin Yun put away the heavenly lion dragon suppression cauldron. He might need to use it later. Under Qin Yun's control, the altar that was hidden underground began to surface. The great Luo dragon warriors are still trapped in the 9-dragon heavenly origin formation. All the trees inside the formation have been destroyed by the dragon warriors. A crater has been created in the ground. They want to go out through the ground, but they discovered that there's a very strong barrier underground. You are all great Luo dragon warriors. Are you trying to escape by drilling underground like a mouse? Qin Yun's voice came from an altar. He said with a disdainful smile, Of course, even if you want to escape by drilling underground like a mouse, it won't work. Because you're not even comparable to a mouse. You're at most bugs. Chapter 3082. After being ridiculed by Qin Yun, these dragon warriors from the great Luo Empire became very angry and simultaneously released their formidable divine cosmos power. Their divine cosmos power is indeed very frightening. After erupting, heaven and earth seemed to tremble. The surging divine cosmos power set off wave after wave of sound waves. It looks very frightening. However, their aura is very strong. In the end, they were unable to break the 9-dragon heavenly origin formations barrier. And then, you bugs only have this much ability? Qin Yun chuckled and said, It must be known that the 9-dragon heavenly origin formation not only absorbs myriad realms divine sun energy, it also absorbs 9-sun divine spirit energy. Qin Yun has not poured in 9-sun divine spirit energy, yet the barrier is already very strong. Inside the dragon altar, Long Shu did not expect Qin Yun's trap to be so powerful. Those were powerful dragon warriors, and they had easily defeated the dragon clan's experts from the all heavens. Damn people of the divine desolate, don't be sneaky, hurry up and come out. If you have the guts, fight face to face. The leading dragon warrior is very angry. They came from the great Luo Empire, falling into the trap of the lower class and being ridiculed. This is a great humiliation. Great Luo Empire people, you're upper-class people, we lower-class people are at a disadvantage in a face-to-face battle. But then again, are you really upper-class people? Why are you so weak that you want to dig a hole and escape like rats? Qin Yun said with mischievous smile, continuing to provoke the dragon warriors. The majority of the 9th-level divine space realm experts of the great Luo Empire are very young. Born in the great Luo Empire, even if they're trash, they can surpass the 9th-level divine space realm after a certain age. Therefore, old 9th-level divine space realm experts are very rare. These 5 dragon warriors are all youths. Young people like them are full of youthful vigor. Facing a 10,000-year-old fox like Qin Yun, they are still lacking. Boom, boom, boom. Inside the 9-dragon heavenly origin formation, the young dragon warriors are frantically attacking the barrier. They want to use their formidable divine cosmos power to break the barrier. However, the 9-dragon heavenly origin formation has a very strong devouring power. It must be known that Qin Yun has carved a large number of Nether Sun totem runes into it. It was very difficult for these dragon warriors to attack from the inside. That was because the majority of their divine cosmos power would be absorbed by the barrier and then used to maintain the operation of the barrier. The only way they would be able to break through the barrier was if they were strong enough to instantly surpass the limit of the 9 dragons' heavenly origin formation. Qin Yun deliberately infuriated the dragon warriors and made them tired. When the time comes, he will go out and deal with them. This way, it will be much easier. Ayaya, the dragon warriors of the great Luo Empire are so disappointing. I can't believe that the barrier I casually set up could trap the dragon warriors of the great Luo Empire. What a surprise. Qin Yun chuckled. Long Shu is now completely at ease. She was previously worried that bringing Qin Yun here would harm him. Only now did she realize that her worries were completely unnecessary. The fact that the great Luo Empire's dragon warriors have been tricked by Qin Yun in the barrier made Long Shu feel very happy. Of course, the most important thing is to take back the dragon bloodline heavenly rune box. If possible, then take back the Monkey King's soul. If Qin Yun took out the Divine King Spear and used Primal Chaos Cannon, he would definitely be able to injure these dragon warriors. But he doesn't want to waste Primal Chaos Cannon. This kind of thing can destroy a small army with one shot. Using it to deal with 5 dragon warriors is a bit wasteful. He is also thinking of a way to quickly subdue these dragon warriors. Their armor defense is very strong. If he wants to attack them, he will need to consume a lot of energy. If Batayin and others go in, it will be very dangerous. These dragon warriors are very angry, and Batayin and others are not as strong as the dragon warriors. If they go in, they will definitely be beaten up. While Qin Yun is thinking of a way, the dragon warriors suddenly quieted down. You can only trap us. You can't capture us. You are trying to exhaust us, right? A dragon warrior asked. Of course not. I was just thinking of the most cost-effective way to take you down. You are all smelly bugs. If I use a lot of energy to capture you, it will be too much of a loss. Qin Yun said, You bastard. Who the hell are you? You offended our great Luo Empire. You won't have a good ending. That dragon warrior furiously said. Wait a minute. It was your great Luo Empire that offended me first. I want to tell you that offending me, Qin Yun, won't have a good ending. Your great Luo Empire, just wait and see. One day, I will exterminate your empire. Qin Yun said. You are Qin Yun? Those dragon warriors are very astonished. Of course they know Qin Yun. During the battle in Strange Cat King City, Qin Yun attracted the attention of Great Luo Empire. Moreover, Great Luo Empire originally wanted to capture Qin Yun. They lost many of their soldiers in Strange Cat King City. It is all because of Qin Yun. Indeed, I, Master Qin, personally came to capture you smelly bugs. It is your honor. Qin Yun said with smile. Don't worry. I will let you know what kind of ending you will have if you fall into my hands. Qin Yun is indeed thinking about how to capture these dragon warriors in a cost-effective manner. Qin Yun, His Highness the Crown Prince's clone, has already arrived in Divine Desolate. Your doomsday will soon arrive. If you want to live well, it would be best if you castrate yourself in front of His Highness the Crown Prince and then offer up your wife Xiao Yuelon. That dragon warrior said. Qin Yun is very angry in his heart, but his expression is very calm. He sighed and said, You look down on me too much. Since that is the case, I will waste a bit and capture you immediately. I will torture you and let you know what kind of person I am. Let him castrate himself and then offer up his wife? This is the first time Qin Yun knows how much the Crown Prince looks down on him. Not only the Crown Prince, the entire great Luo imperial family thinks of him this way. You can't do anything to us. We come from great Luo Empire. Our power is not something a lowly person like you can resist. Our armor's defense is very strong. Even if I stand here and let you attack for a year, you won't be able to break through. That dragon warrior suddenly said very confidently. Qin Yun took out the Divine King Spear and turned it into a dragon head cannon. Then he put in a primal chaos cannonball. I hope that you can preserve enough of the divine universe, heavenly dragon bones in your bodies and your armor. That way, I won't be at too much of a loss. After saying that, Qin Yun fired a cannon at the array inside the altar. A deafening explosion spread out. Incomparably violent vibrations spread out. The energy of the primal chaos cannonball that was sealed inside the nine-dragon heavenly origin formation was restricted inside the formation. The formation emitted a strong gray light. It is unknown what happened to those dragon warriors. Chapter 3083. When Long Shu heard the dragon warrior use Xiao Yuelon to infuriate Qin Yun, she knew that Qin Yun would definitely attack. However, She never expected that Qin Yun would be so terrifying. Even within the altar, Long Shu could still feel the terrifying energy erupting from within the 9 dragons' heavenly origin formation. I hope they are still alive. If they died like this, it would be too boring. Qin Yun opened his heavenly eye and looked inside the 9-dragon heavenly origin formation. The energy of the primal chaos cannon lasted for an hour before it gradually weakened. Earlier, Qin Yun had no choice but to control the 9 dragons' heavenly origin formation's energy to leak out. Otherwise, he might have really broken through the 9 dragons' heavenly origin formation. The 9 dragons' heavenly origin formation had also absorbed a lot of energy to stabilize the formation. The 9 dragons' heavenly origin formation returned to normal. The dragon warriors were not dead, and their bodies were still intact. However, their armor had been cracked, and their helmets had been destroyed, revealing their faces. They were all young men, but at this moment, their faces were covered in wounds. Brothers, go in and destroy their internal divine cosmos. Injure their soul divine cosmos. Qin Yun let Ba Taiyin and others come out of the heaven-leaping shuttle. He had originally planned to use a more gentle method to take down the dragon warriors. This way, he would be able to obtain the intact armor on them, and then Ba Taiyin and the others would wear it. This way, Ba Taiyin and the others would become stronger. Qin Yun needed stronger bodyguards. That way, he wouldn't have to be afraid even if he met the dragon warriors again. But just now, he couldn't hold back and blasted it with a primal chaos cannon. After Ba Taiyin and the others entered, they crippled the 5 dragon warriors in a few moves. Their armors are pretty good. Take them off. I can repair them. Qin Yun said. They'll be yours from now on. They're even better than the armors of the Deluo warriors. Thank you, boss. Ba Taiyin and the others were overjoyed and immediately took off the armor of the few dragon warriors. Qin Yun took the storage divine tools from the dragon warriors and easily opened them. Then he took out the things inside and obtained a square box carved with a dragon. This is the Dragon Bloodline Heavenly Pattern Box. Did the Crown Prince of Zenith Luo get you to look for this box? Asked Qin Yun. The dragon warriors are very angry, but also very afraid. They can only stare at Qin Yun. Qin Yun walked over and used the Divine King Heavenly Seal to imprint on their heads and injected all sorts of pain into them. The 5 dragon warriors immediately screamed and rolled on the ground as if they had gone mad. They were all dragon warriors, not clones. They were all youngsters, so when had they ever experienced such hardships? I know I was wrong. Please forgive me. Grandpa Qin, I'll be your dog from now on. Please stop. The Crown Prince of Daluo is a beast. I will definitely kill this beast. Master Qin, save me. I'll tell you everything. I'm in so much pain. Save me. The dragon warriors screamed in pain. Long Shu is having a good time watching from the side. She discovered that she still can't see through Qin Yun. She clearly slept with Qin Yun before, but she still doesn't understand his strength well enough. She previously believed that Qin Yun would not be able to take down these dragon warriors. Qin Yun obtained 100 billion divine universe goldstones and many beads from the storage divine artifacts of the dragon warriors. They were all soul beads. There are many soul beads here. There should be monkey kings. Qin Yun placed a large pile of soul beads everywhere. Long Shu closed her eyes and let her mental power cover these soul beads. Then, she grabbed a bead and said, "Little monkey, your soul is still here. That's great. I will definitely revive you." It was Qin Yun who saved us. These soul beads belong to the All Heavens dragon race. Long Shu said again, "Keep them. I will think of a better way to revive them. I will see if I can use the Dragon Bloodline Heavenly Rune Box to revive them and obtain a powerful bloodline." Qin Yun said. The dragon warriors are still screaming in pain, begging for mercy and cursing the Crown Prince. Qin Yun saw that it's about time and stopped. The dragon warriors are lying on the ground. Their faces are distorted. They are now extremely afraid. What is the consequence of offending Qin Yun? They have now deeply experienced it. Master Qin, we will tell you everything. We will answer your questions. One of the dragon warriors promptly got up and kneeled on the ground like a dog. No, I don't want to ask anymore, Qin Yun said and pressed his hand on their heads again. Ah! The dragon warriors shrieked again. Brother Ba, remove all the bones from their bodies, Qin Yun said with his hands clasped behind his back. Their souls are in pain. Their bodies must also feel pain. The dragon warriors are in extreme despair. They hate themselves. Why do they talk so much? Why did they provoke Qin Yun? They hate the crown prince even more. He actually wants them to fight this kind of devil. Ba Tain and the others are expressionless. They went over and took out the bones of the dragon warriors. Long Shu is also coldly watching. These dragon warriors have killed many of her companions. The dragon warriors are in extreme pain. In their eyes, Qin Yun is a true devil god and evil god. I didn't kill you. I still have a kind heart, Qin Yun suddenly said with smile. Why are you still not thanking me? Devil, a true devil. The dragon warriors immediately cried and thanked Qin Yun. Most of their bones have been taken out. Then Qin Yun threw them into the heavenly lion dragon suppressing cauldron and gave it to Meng Kai so that he can get more information from them. Their divine universe heavenly bones are very strong. Each of them weighs 400 genes. Ba Tain said, "This is divine universe heavenly dragon bone. It is indeed very strong." Qin Yun picked up a section. It is golden and dazzling. How do you cultivate it? It is even stronger than strengthened divine universe heavenly bone. A blue universe person curiously said, I also don't know. It seems like there are many ways to become stronger with divine universe heavenly bone. Qin Yun put away the 2,000 genes divine universe heavenly dragon bone. He wants to ask Long Jinchuan. After smoothly obtaining the dragon bloodline heavenly pattern box, Qin Yun immediately returned to Fog Moon City. Next, he will conduct several transactions here. After the transactions, he will obtain several 100 billion divine universe golden stones. At that time, it will be enough for him to cultivate in seclusion for a period of time. Several days later, Qin Yun met with Fire Ling Empire's Jiang Ming and Gao Linqing and gave them the tools to make elegant smoke. Qin Yun had obtained hundreds of billions of divine universe goldstones from them. His current divine universe goldstones added up to more than 160 billion. Next is the meeting with 9 Dragon Kingdoms, Long Jinchuan. He is not in Fog Moon City, but on Long Jinchuan's ship outside the city. Long Shu entered the 9 Sun Divine Soul together with the Imperial Demon Ling Yuner. Qin Yun met with Long Jinchuan alone. I have already selected 300 warriors. If they don't want to follow you, I can force them. But this will make it difficult for you to obtain their sincere loyalty. Long Jinchuan said, no need to force them. I will use my own method to make them follow me willingly. Qin Yun smiled, then took out a large section of divine universe heavenly dragon bone and gave it to Long Jinchuan. Chapter 3084. Long Jinchuan took a look and exclaimed, this is a divine cosmic sky dragon bone. It's very strong. Brother Qin, how did you get it? I killed a few great Luo Empire's dragon warriors. Qin Yun said, these dragon warriors were originally ordinary people. Later on, after they obtained the dragon bloodline, they were able to cultivate this kind of divine cosmic sky dragon bone. It made their bones stronger and also raised the upper limit of divine cosmic power. If their skulls were also transformed into divine cosmic sky dragon bone, their mental energy would be even stronger. Long Jinchuan nodded, but it's very difficult to cultivate. Even in our 9 Dragon Kingdom, it's very difficult to cultivate at the divine cosmic sky realm. Although it's possible in the later stages, it's too late. The earlier one cultivates a powerful divine cosmic sky bone, the better. The longer one cultivates a heavenly bone, the stronger it becomes. It could be cultivated in the later stages, but that kind of heavenly bone would be very young and definitely not as strong as old bones cultivated early. Brother Jinchuan, how strong can a 9th level divine cosmic sky realm be? Qin Yun asked. Great Luo Crown Prince's clone has already come to God Desolate. Do you think he has the power to fight 10,000 alone? Long Jinchuan waved his hand. No matter how strong a divine cosmic sky realm expert is, there's a limit. For example, how many times divine cosmic energy and how much mental energy can reach. No matter how strong he is, he can't be strong enough to fight 10,000 ninth level divine cosmic sky realm experts. If a ninth level divine cosmic sky realm expert has equipment that can defend against powerful divine cosmic energy or mental energy attacks, then they'll be even harder to defeat. Unless they have something very powerful like a heavenly talisman or the thing you use to attack the city. The primal chaos cannonball was very powerful, much better than a heavenly talisman and impossible to defend against. The energy of a heavenly talisman came from runes. There was a kind of talisman that could interfere with runes and effectively suppress the energy of a heavenly talisman. Then how will Great Luo Crown Prince dominate God Desolate? Qin, you want to know what Long Jinchuan was thinking. With a large number of ninth-level divine cosmic sky realm warriors forming an army, he'll flatten anyone who doesn't submit. Long Jinchuan said, that's what many major forces think. Divine Desolate's cultivation has been restricted to the 9th tier of the divine universe realm by the 9 Yang Dharma spirit. In the future, there would be a large number of 9th tier divine space realm cultivators in the divine wilderness, and they would even form an army. Once they started fighting, it would definitely be earth-shattering. In other words, from now on, whoever had more people in the 9th level of the divine space realm and was stronger would have an absolute advantage. The 9th tier divine space realm cultivators of the Great Luo Empire have to suppress the barbarians in the 9 Sun sacred ground. They definitely won't be able to spare that many to fight in the divine wilderness. Long Jinchuan said, but they will use the other kingdoms to suppress the rising powers of the divine desolate, so that the various powers of the divine desolate can maintain a state of balance. Long Jinchuan's 9 Dragons Kingdom stood aloof from worldly affairs in the Great Flood cosmos and developed in secret. Later on, it was discovered that the 9 Dragons Kingdom was hiding a formidable strength. Thus, they were targeted by the Great Flood Empire and the other kingdoms. After the 9 Dragons Kingdom's secret rise, it was highly likely that it would break the balance of the Great Flood cosmos. It seems like Great Luo Empire is very confident that they can maintain the balance in Divine Desolate, Qinyan said with smile. Of course. After all, they're a powerful empire. They can continuously send troops to Divine Desolate. As long as they occupy a large amount of resources in Divine Desolate, they will be invincible. Long Jinchuan said. Qin Yin wanted to start developing his own powerful forces. He needed an army of 9th-level divine space realm cultivators. Brother Qin, don't underestimate the Great Luo Empire. Your performance in the Divine Wasteland may seem like you can suppress the warriors of the Great Luo Empire, but they're an empire. They must have other tricks up their sleeves. We are not an empire, so we don't know. But they're not weak at all. Long Jinchuan warned. Qin Yin nodded. I understand. Brother Jinchuan, do you have any suggestions? I suggest you keep your distance from the Great Luo Empire and reduce conflicts. Don't continue to provoke them. It won't be too late to fight them when you are strong enough. Long Jinchuan said. All right. Qin Yin nodded. Soon after, Long Jinchuan brought him to the cabin of the ship. 300 warriors from the 9 Dragons Kingdom were sitting there. They were all at the 8th or 9th level of the divine space realm. They were all very young. Long Jinchuan had previously told these youths to follow the God King of the God Wilderness and to humble themselves in front of the God King. The group of teenagers also agreed, but Long Jinchuan didn't know what they were thinking in their hearts. Long Jinchuan recruited them from the 9 Dragons Kingdom and signed a soul contract with them. They promised not to betray him and to be obedient soldiers. Most of them came from poor backgrounds. They were born with poor aptitude. They had to work very hard to reach the 9th level of the divine space realm. Of course, they were born with the cultivation of the 3rd or 4th level of the divine space realm. Their poor aptitude was only relative to the 9 Dragons Kingdom. Everyone, this is your new master. You must be loyal to him in the future. Long Jinchuan brought Qin Yin and spoke to the youths inside the cabin. The young people in the cabin immediately got up and knelt on one knee. They said in unison, "Greetings, Master." Qin Yin didn't hide his cultivation. His aura of the third level of the divine space realm was very obvious. After all, it was only the third level of the divine space realm, so it was very easy to distinguish. The young people present could see that Qin Yin was at the third level of the divine space realm. Although they were somewhat dissatisfied, they didn't show it. They still greeted Qin Yin. "I'm a person of the lower class. I was able to grow to this point because of long and arduous cultivation. Before the divine space realm, there are many realms. I walk step by step. Don't look at me because I am very young. I am actually a very old man." Qin Yin said, "It seems that I can't call you brother anymore. I'm also very young, not more than 100 years old." Long Jinchuan said with a smile, "Brother Qin, how old are you this year? My soul is at least several 100,000 years old." Qin Yin laughed at himself. "Yes, I have lived like a dog. I am only at the third level of the divine space realm. I am far inferior to you." The young people present were very surprised. A soul of several 100,000 years old, but only at the third level of the divine space realm? They were born with several levels of the divine space realm. They couldn't believe the age of Qin Yun's soul. This is very normal. In the universe, those suns are all billions of years old. Although Long Jinchuan said so, he was shocked in his heart. He finally understood why the exotic cat kingdom and great Luo empire suffered losses. They were facing a super old fox. The young people present had seen the video of Qin Yun attacking the exotic cat kingdom. At that time, they were also shocked. They just didn't expect that the divine king would be so old. Qin Yun had just obtained the dragon bloodline heavenly pattern box. He wanted to see if he could use it to give these young people from the 9 Dragon Kingdom a stronger bloodline. Chapter 3085. The Bloodline Heavenly Pattern Box is very mystical and mysterious. It was originally a sealed microcosm, but after so many years, the inside has undergone earth-shattering changes and is no longer the same as before. Taisher said that even if the box is unsealed, a microcosm will not burst out. As for what will happen, even Taisher is not too sure. Taisher is also the spirit body of the box, but he himself is unable to figure out the situation inside the box. Qin Yin was certain of one thing. The Bloodline Heavenly Pattern Box needed to absorb powerful energy from the outside world. The Grand Beginning Bloodline Heavenly Pattern Box was fused with the Godly Monarch Heavenly Seal. While helping Qin Yin cultivate, it also absorbed large amounts of Divine Universe Goldstone. Long Jinchuan said before that the 9 Dragon Kingdoms warriors are inferior to the Great Luo Empire's warriors. Moreover, there are some 8th-level Divine Space Realm warriors. Even if they break through, they can't compare to those who entered the 9th level in a short time. 9 Dragon Kingdoms warriors are at most a bit stronger than the warriors of other kingdoms. Qin Yin let Tain Ba come out. Tain Ba is a 9th-level Divine Space Realm warrior from the Great Blue Empire. He was not born in the Great Blue Emperor city, and there is a big gap between him and the warriors of the Great Blue Empire. However, Tain is still much stronger than the elite warriors of the Strange Cat Kingdom. Although Tain Ba was a very strong 9th tier of the Divine Space Realm, he was old. In the empires and kingdoms, people of his age were not too bad and had already surpassed the 9th tier of the Divine Space Realm. Therefore, when those youths saw Tain Ba, they did not feel too much about him. Perhaps in the eyes of the youths of the 9 Dragon Kingdom, Tain is just like them. Brother Ba, you will be in charge of training them in the future. Didn't you say that you joined the army in the Empire? Qin Yin said. Ba, Tain nodded and said, I will train them. Boss, we need a large territory now. The Heaven Secrets Gate is very secretive and it is very troublesome to enter and exit. It is not very convenient to always run there. Qin Yin quickly thought of a place, the Heavenly Flame Treasure Land, the place where the Fire Tribulation Madman race used to live. Many of them moved to the 4 Divine Suns. Only a few remained in the Heavenly Flame Treasure Land. The Heavenly Flame Treasure Land has a very strong barrier, and its defense is very good. Previously, Qin Yin learned from Xian Shazi that Huoxiangquang would return to Heavenly Fire Treasure Land from time to time. After all, it was the place where they were born, so they couldn't bear to part with it. The reason why Qin Yin asked them to move to the Four Divine Suns is because he is afraid that their treasured land would be captured by those kingdoms. According to the information that Xian Shazi had gathered, there were indeed some weaker treasure lands that had already been conquered by those kingdoms. Soon after, Qin Yun let Ba Tain test the 300 youths to see their foundation. Qin Yun still has matters to discuss with Long Jinchuan, so he went to the secret chamber. Brother Jinchuan, the 8th divine sun has appeared, but I still can't contact the 9-sun lost spirit. Qin Yun said. He had previously promised Long Jinchuan that he would ask the 9-yang Dharma spirit if it could open a passage for the people of the 9 Dragons Kingdom to enter the universe of the barbarians. This matter is not urgent at the moment. We can wait patiently. Long Jinchuan said with a smile. He felt relieved that Qin Yun took this matter to heart. However, I have people contact the Sun Dragon race in the ancestral god Sunday. I have a friend who is an elder of the Sun Dragon race. He helped the 9-yang lost spirit send a message to me last time. Wait for me to contact this friend. I will have him deliver a letter to the 9-yang lost spirit. Qin Yin said. Many thanks, Brother Qin. Long Jinchuan immediately said gratefully. After knowing that Qin Yin is an old fellow, Long Jinchuan no longer dared to call Qin Yin brother. If it really succeeded, then their 9 Dragons Kingdom would have a way out. Although they would have to retreat to the barbarians' universe, it would be better than being exterminated in the Great Flood Cosmos. Brother Jinchuan, the young warriors you gave me are all very outstanding. However, compared to the warriors of the Empire, they're still far behind. Qin Yin said. Of course, the Empire is full of upper-class people. Their descendants are naturally very outstanding. No matter how bad they are born with more divine universe heavenly bones than us. Some extremely talented people are born with strengthened divine universe heavenly bones. We simply cannot compare to them. Long Jinchuan sighed. I have a way. Maybe it can help them transform their bloodline. Qin Yun said. After the transformation, there might be some mutations. As for what will happen, I am not too sure. Transform bloodline? Long Jinchuan frowned. He has never heard of transforming bloodline. In their universe, there is no such thing as bloodline, but there is bloodline inheritance. For instance, the royal bloodline, the imperial bloodline. After transforming their bloodline, they can rapidly increase their cultivation. Moreover, their divine universe heavenly bone, body, and even soul divine universe will obtain a very powerful absorption ability. Qin Yun said, There's such a technique? How come I have never heard of it? Whether it is in the kingdom or the empire, there is no such technique. Long Jinchuan felt that it was very mystical. The divine universe, heavenly bone, the divine universe in the body, and the divine universe in the soul should be the energy foundation of every divine universe realm cultivator. The stronger the divine universe heavenly bone, the stronger the body. The stronger the divine universe in the body, the stronger the divine universe power. Moreover, the absorption and refining power are also very strong. The stronger the soul divine universe, the stronger the mental force. Qin Yin said, Yes, this is the foundation of the divine universe realm. The stronger the absorption ability of the divine universe heavenly bone, the faster the strengthening and the easier it is to cultivate. But this is all determined by the heavens. Long Jinchuan said, No, it can be improved by transforming the bloodline. It can even become better. In the God desolate heavens, I succeeded many times. Especially recently, after he helped the young ladies of the Divine Moon clan awaken their bloodline heavenly patterns, his understanding of bloodline heavenly patterns had deepened. It could allow one to cultivate in the divine universe realm with twice the results with half the effort and increase the upper limits of all aspects. As for why it was like this, it was the mystical aspect of bloodline heavenly patterns. Qin Yun had not only helped the young ladies of the Divine Moon clan awaken their bloodline within the four divine sons, but the other powerful clans had also awakened their bloodline heavenly pattern. The results were very good. Are there any risks? If there are no risks, then we can give it a try. Long Jinchuan was very curious about this. I don't know for now, because you're from the Outerverse. That's why I need your permission before I dare to try. I also need you to watch from aside. That way, even if there's an accident, you can solve the problem. Although Long Jinchuan's avatar was at the 9th level of the Divine Universe realm, his main body was very strong and had a deep understanding of power. All right, then let's give it a try. They're all at the 8th or 9th level of the Divine Universe realm, so even if there's a problem, it won't be too serious. Long Jinchuan really wanted to see how Qin Yin transformed his bloodline. Chapter 3086. Long Jinchuan called in a youth from outside. The youth's name is Long Qin. He is at the 8th level of Divine Space Realm. He is tall and honest. His current Divine Space power is around 100,000. The Divine Space Force of the 8th tier of the Divine Space Realm was generally between 64,000 and 128,000, and it was the same even in the worlds of those in the middle levels. Middle-level cultivators are strong because they can cultivate divine space power very early, and they have many divine universe heavenly bones. Long Qin's divine universe heavenly bones are quite poor. He can only cultivate divine universe heavenly bones in his arms and legs. During the battle against the Outerverse Youths in the ancient Garden City, there was a 6th-level divine space realm cultivator among them. They were all divine universe heavenly bones from the Hualing Empire. Of course, the Nine Dragons Kingdom was also there. Even though their overall strength was much lower, they still won. Long Qin, if you feel any danger, immediately tell us, understand? Long Jinchuan asked. Marquis, will it hurt? I am afraid of pain, but I can endure it. Long Qin said. Long Jinchuan doesn't know what the bloodline transformation process is like. He looked at Qin Yin. Generally speaking, there won't be any pain. If you feel any pain, you must tell us. Yes, my lord. Long Qin nodded. Qin Yin took out the Dragon Bloodline Heavenly Pattern box, and then took out the Divine King Heavenly Seal. He pressed the Dragon Bloodline Heavenly Pattern box on Long Qin's back, and then used the Divine King Heavenly Seal to stamp on the Bloodline Heavenly Pattern box. The Dragon Bloodline Heavenly Pattern box slightly trembled and then burst out with a very powerful blood energy. Long Jinchuan's expression greatly changed. His heart is filled with fear. Just now, the power of the Dragon Bloodline Heavenly Pattern box made him feel as if he was facing a terrifying dragon. Long Jinchuan suddenly felt that the Divine King of Divine Desolate is unfathomable. The thing in his hand is actually so terrifying. In fact, even Qin Yin didn't expect the Dragon Bloodline Heavenly Pattern box to have such a reaction. All right. He immediately put away the Dragon Bloodline Heavenly Pattern box to avoid being sensed by others. Great Luo's Crown Prince also wants the Dragon Bloodline Heavenly Pattern box. Long Jinchuan hastily asked, Long Qin, how do you feel now? Long Qin is sitting on the ground with his eyes closed. There seems to be many things wriggling under his skin. His skin is overflowing with golden red blood energy. He is transforming. Qin Yin happily said, It seems like it is also effective for you guys. Brother Qin, what's going on? Long Jinchuan knew that he shouldn't ask such a secret, but he couldn't help but ask. This is a technique that only I, a divine king, can use. It can be said that I stumbled upon it by accident. It shouldn't have anything to do with the 9 Yang Dharma spirit. Simply put, I can give someone a very powerful bloodline heavenly pattern. Qin Yin said, I also don't know if it can help people awaken their bloodline heavenly rune or if it can bestow bloodline heavenly rune to others. In short, after having bloodline heavenly rune, all aspects will be greatly improved. Long Jinchuan immediately took out a device and shown it at Long Qin. He said in shock, his divine cosmos force is continuously increasing. Qin Yin was also watching with the divine mirror of primordial beginning. This, His divine cosmos force is constantly rising. Will there be any side effects to it? Long Jin Fan was frightened. Long Qin's divine space power was originally around 100,000, but now it is increasing. Not long after, his divine space power surpassed 130,000. Originally, he could have stepped into the 9th level of the divine space realm at 128,000. Long Qin had yet to step into the 9th level of the divine space realm. He was still at the 8th level, which meant that his divine space energy had already surpassed the limit. Qin Yun asked, "How much divine space power does the 8th level of the divine space realm need to surpass the limit?" Long Qin's divine space power has not stopped, but it is not increasing as fast as before. About 150,000. Under normal circumstances, the 9th level of the divine space realm has a peak divine space power of 300,000, and we are at 256,000. In addition, our divine space, heavenly bone, and mental power are inferior to them, so we are much weaker in battle. Qin Yun said, "After obtaining the bloodline heavenly rune, the most obvious increase is in divine space power. As for mental power and divine space, heavenly bone, they need to absorb energy to cultivate later. Cultivating mental power and divine space, heavenly bone, requires divine space power as the foundation, and a large amount of divine space power is needed to strengthen them." Long Jinchuan is somewhat excited because Long Qin's increase has not stopped. After a while, Long Qin's divine space power limit finally stopped. 150,000. Long Jinchuan took a deep breath. This is the level of the divine space realm. This is something only the upper echelons can achieve. But with Qin Yun's bloodline transformation, Long Qin has achieved it. Long Jinchuan now knows what it means to defy the heavens. He suddenly understands why the 9 Yang Dharma spirit values Qin Yun so much. He also understands why the great Luo Empire wants to mess with Qin Yun. Because Qin Yun can lead the lower-level living beings of the divine wilderness to step into the upper level and even surpass it. Long Jinchuan is shocked. The miracle that happened to Long Qin has overturned his understanding of the world. Qin Yun just casually did something, and Long Qin's divine space power rose by 50,000. This is too terrifying. If all the people of the 9-Dragon Kingdom had their bloodline transformation and awakened bloodline heavenly runes, wouldn't they also improve greatly? At that time, even if they had to face the great Luo Empire's encirclement, they would still have the power to fight. Even if they couldn't win, they would be able to make the great Luo Empire not dare to invade. Long Jinchuan swallowed his saliva. He believes that he must report all this to the 9-Dragon Kingdom's king. This is very important. Maybe it can change the fate of their 9-Dragon Kingdom. If the 9-Dragon Kingdom becomes stronger, they don't need to flee to the barbarian race cosmos. They can stay in the Great Flood cosmos. They don't need to destroy the Great Hong Empire. They just need to be strong enough that the Great Hong Empire can't afford to lose them. It is very difficult for the 9-Dragon Kingdom to deal with several kingdoms. If their bloodline is transformed and becomes stronger, they can sweep through several kingdoms. They won't be consumed by the kingdoms, and they can resist the Great Hong Empire. Long Qin, how are you now? Long Jinchuan is very excited and promptly asked, "Marquis, I am very good now." Long Qin opened his eyes and said with a smile, "It seems like I've become stronger. My lord is so awesome. What did you do?" Qin Yun said with a smile, "I didn't do anything. I just helped you awaken your bloodline heavenly runes. Old brother Qin, our 9-Dragon Kingdom's people can transform into dragons. After transforming into dragons, our divine space power will increase even more." Long Jinchuan said, "But we can't transform into dragons here. It will cause too much commotion. And I will try again later when I have the chance. Long Qin, you should be able to break through very soon. After that, your divine space power will increase explosively." Qin Yun said with a smile. Chapter 3087. Many thanks, my lord. I feel that I am stronger than those 9th-level divine space realm soldiers. Long Qin is simple and honest, but he knows the difference between strength and weakness. And you go out first. I want to help your companions obtain the same strength so that you can fight side by side in the future. Qin Yun patted Long Qin's shoulder. Brother Qin, do you think that people who surpass divine space realm can also awaken bloodline heavenly runes? Long Jin Chuan hastily asked. Qin Yun shook his head and said, I don't know, I have never tried. You can't come to God desolate right now. Wait until I have the chance. I will go to your 9-dragon kingdom. Long Jin Chuan promptly nodded and said, very good, very good. If you can go and help us awaken bloodline heavenly runes and make us stronger, it will be much better than us going to barbarian race cosmos. 9-dragon kingdom naturally wants to stay in Great Flood cosmos and resist the Empire, but they don't have the strength. If they continue to stay in Great Flood cosmos, they will be exterminated. I can actually make an awakening talisman, but it can only be used on divine space realm cultivators. I am not sure if it will be effective on those who surpass divine space realm. Qin Yun said, take it back and try it. If it succeeds, you only need to make this talisman. We will buy it at a high price. Long Jin Chuan said with a smile, I can give it to you directly. After all, you sent me many 8th and 9th level divine space realm soldiers. They're what I lack the most. Qin Yun said with a smile, the 8th or 9th tier of the divine space realm was considered trash to the kingdoms of the middle-level worlds. If it were not for the fact that the divine wilderness needed a large number of people with this level of cultivation, the middle-level worlds would never pay attention to them. Brother Qin, if you need any help in God Desolate, I will do my best to help you. Long Jin Chuan said, I will report to His Majesty as soon as possible. When the time comes, I will also bring back a few soldiers who have awakened bloodline heavenly runes to convince the kingdom. Qin Yun really needs the help of this kind of upper-level faction. However, Tianling Empire and Great Blue Empire do not want to be enemies with Great Luo Empire, so they will not directly help Qin Yun. At most, they will do business with Qin Yun. All right, then I will help those brats awaken their bloodline heavenly runes, Qin Yun said with a smile. Soon after, Qin Yun began helping the 9-dragon warriors awaken their bloodline heavenly runes. In fact, even the Grand Prime didn't know if he would bestow them with bloodline heavenly patterns or awaken them. Long Jin Chuan believes that Qin Yun is bestowing bloodline heavenly runes on them because they don't have this kind of thing in their body and they never discovered it. The process of bestowing bloodline heavenly runes is very fast. Qin Yun only used less than half a day to finish it. At this moment, the 300 young 9-dragon warriors are filled with reverence and even some fear towards Qin Yun. This was because their lord, whose cultivation was only at the 3rd level of the divine space realm, had actually helped them increase their upper limit of several tens of thousands of divine space forces in one go. This was especially true for those warriors at the peak of the 9th level of the divine space realm. Their divine space force had already reached the limit, and they had yet to break through because they were cultivating the divine space heavenly bone. But after Qin Yun bestowed them with bloodline heavenly runes, it actually increased to 300,000. This is the level of upper echelons. How did the Lord do it? This ability was simply terrifying. So what if his cultivation was low? Just this kind of ability was enough for them to pledge their loyalty to him. As long as they followed Qin Yun, they might even become stronger than the Imperial warriors in the future. In the hall outside, the 9-dragon warriors don't dare to believe it. They were worried that this was only temporary. There are indeed some pills that can temporarily increase one's divine space force, but after it subsides, the side effects are very obvious. It will make one's body ache for a long time. Tainban knew that Qin Yun could help people obtain bloodline heavenly runes, but he didn't expect that it could also be done by people from the Outerverse. This is also Qin Yun's first time trying it on people from the Outerverse, but he didn't expect it to be successful. He believed that the Dragon Bloodline Heavenly Pattern box just so happened to be compatible with the people of the 9-dragon kingdom, which was why it could bestow Bloodline Heavenly Patterns. Boss, do you think I can do it? Taiyin's eyes are burning with excitement as he looked at Qin Yun. Taiyin's divine space force is 320,000, and he has cultivated the divine space heavenly bone in his entire body. The only area he is inferior to the elites of the Empire is the degree of strengthening his mental power and divine space heavenly bone. I don't know, I'll give it a try. I originally thought that this method would only be effective on the life forms of our universe. I didn't expect it to be effective on people from the outer verse as well. Qin Yun did not use the Dragon Bloodline Heavenly Pattern Box. In his hand is a blue oval-shaped Bloodline Heavenly Pattern Box. It was given to him by the former Heavenly Dao at the Immortal Pawn Shop. Long Jinchuan is also in the secret room. He is looking forward to seeing how strong Tying Ba, a person from the upper echelon of the Great Blue Empire, will become after being bestowed with the Bloodline Heavenly Pattern Box. Qin Yun immediately began. He pressed the blue Bloodline Heavenly Pattern Box on Tying's back, and then imprinted the box with his Divine King Heavenly Seal. Tying suddenly let out a painful scream. "Brother Ba, are you all right?" Qin Yun asked in alarm. "I'm fine. It's painful, but I can feel that I'm improving." Tying shouted in ecstasy. Long Jinchuan took out a tool and said with wide eyes, "Brother Ba's divine space force is increasing. It was originally 320,000, but now it has increased by 10,000, and it's still increasing." Qin Yun is extremely shocked. What is going on with the Bloodline Heavenly Pattern Box? It can actually help people become stronger like this. Qin Yun naturally tried it on himself, but it was completely useless. But when bestowing Bloodline Heavenly Pattern Box on others, it was always successful. Of course, Qin Yun's divine space force has already exceeded the limit. As for how much it will exceed in the end, he still doesn't know, because he still hasn't reached the 9th level of divine space realm. But he speculates that it will definitely surpass the dragon warriors of the Empire. Finally, Tying's upper limit increased to 370,000, a total increase of 50,000. This is already beyond the normal level of the upper echelon. This is also a lot. If the current Tying were to face the dragon warriors and the Empire's elites again, as long as he has good equipment, it wouldn't be a problem for him to win one-on-one. Qin Yun immediately let Tying come out of the heaven-leaping shuttle and bestowed the Bloodline Heavenly Pattern to them. Finally, they all smoothly increased their upper limit by 50,000 divine space force. "We are trash, so we can only increase it by 50,000. What about those geniuses?" Tying is very shocked. "I don't know. Among the geniuses of your upper echelon worlds, there is no 9th level divine space realm. Wait until I have the opportunity to come into contact with them, then I will give it a try," Qin Yun said with smile. Long Jinchuan patted Qin Yun's shoulder and said with smile, "Old brother Qin, my Golden Dragon Marquis's true body is a genius in the 9 Dragon Kingdom. When the time comes, you will know for sure." If possible, Long Jinchuan wants to immediately kidnap Qin Yun to the 9 Dragon Kingdom of the Great Flood Cosmos and let Qin Yun bestow the Bloodline Heavenly Pattern on him. Chapter 3088. Qin Yun took out a few awakening talismans and added the energy of Dragon Bloodline Heavenly Pattern Box into them. Then he handed them over to Long Jinchuan and said, "Brother Jinchuan, after you return, try sticking them on your body." Long Jinchuan immediately put it away and said with a smile, "I will go back and try it as soon as possible." If he succeeded, Qin Yun wouldn't need to go to the Great Flood Cosmos. Although Long Jinchuan wanted to bring Qin Yun to the Great Flood Cosmos, he was still worried that an accident might occur. This was because their 9 Dragons Kingdom wasn't the strongest in the Great Flood Cosmos. It was impossible for them to guarantee Qin Yun's safety. Without sufficient protection, Long Jinchuan could not do so. If you were to head to the Great Flood Cosmos and happen to encounter experts from the Tianhong Empire, it would only result in his death. Ba Tying and the others had become much stronger. This meant that their foundations were much better. As long as they continued to strengthen their divine universe heavenly bone, they would definitely become the strongest 9th level divine universe realm martial artists. Of course, in order to stay in the God's Desolate, in order to follow Qin Yun and protect him, they would not break through. Of course, They wanted to surpass the 9th level of the divine space realm. After all, that was a higher realm that would allow them to obtain even greater power. However, after breaking through, he cannot continue staying in the divine desolate. Qin Yun is in dire need of helpers. If Tian Ba and company wanted a breakthrough, Qin Yun would allow it. He had previously told them that if they were tired of living in the divine wilderness, they could choose to return to the Great Blue Empire at any time. He would get Gao Linqing to make arrangements for them. Boss, with our current strength, it won't be a problem for us to fight the dragon warriors one-on-one. Ba Tain said, we can defeat them one-on-one. The reason why Tian Ba had such confidence was mainly because his divine cosmos force was much higher. A dragon warrior's divine cosmos power was only around 300,000. Ba Tain and the others had 50,000 more. I believe in your strength, but there is no need for us to fight the dragon warriors face to face. They are invaders, and there is no need for us to have a fair fight with them. We will use whatever method we can to kill them, said Qin Yun with a smile. Brother Qin, I originally said that I would give you 3,009 dragon warriors, but now I want to increase it to 5,000. I will help you gather 5,009 dragon warriors as soon as possible. Long Jinchuan said. Previously, he was worried that the 9 dragon warriors were not loyal enough to Qin Yun, but now it seems that he can rest assured. Even if they didn't sign a contract with Long Jinchuan, Qin Yun still gave them powerful bloodline heavenly runes, so they will definitely pledge their loyalty to him. In the 9-Dragon Kingdom, the 9 dragon warriors were considered trash. Long Jinchuan was a marquise, so he had recruited these people. He had said nice things to them and treated them with respect. That way, he had earned their loyalty. A marquis like Long Jinchuan was not only very powerful in the 9-Dragon Kingdom, but he was also very famous and respected. Those who had not surpassed the 9th tier of the divine space realm since birth were all viewed as trash. Now that they were valued by the Golden Dragon Marquis, they all cherished this attention, so they all signed a contract and were willing to listen to the Golden Dragon Marquis. Brother Jin Chuan, do you think the Daluo Empire knows about what happened to your universe? Qin Yun asked. The Great Blue Empire and the Hua Ling Empire both know of the existence of the Great Luo Empire. I wonder if the Great Luo Empire knows of the other empires? Long Jinchuan nodded and said, they definitely know. They might even be able to contact us. I just don't know how they will do it. Of course, because we are a kingdom, the Daluo Empire also looks down on us. When Qin Yun was in contact with the ambassador of the Hua Ling Empire, Jiang Ming, and the ambassador of the Great Blue Empire, Gao Linqing, he could feel that they looked down on the 9-Dragon Kingdom from the bottom of their hearts. The gap between a kingdom and an empire is too big. In the same universe, a kingdom is just a toy for an empire to play with. Brother Jin Chuan, you should have a lot of good tool refiners on your side, right? Qin Yun wanted to find them to refine some good equipment. Excellent inscription masters are very few. In fact, in the Great Flood cosmos, many powerful runes are controlled by the inscription masters of the Great Flood Empire. Long Jinchuan said helplessly. Qin Yun frowned. He originally planned to provide a lot of Divine Universe heavenly bones and then exchange them for equipment from the 9-Dragon Kingdom. But now it seems that the 9-Dragon Kingdom also doesn't have any good equipment. Tian Ba said, Boss, whether it is the Great Blue Empire or the Hua Ling Empire, the best runes are firmly controlled by the empires. To be more accurate, they're controlled by the imperial family of the empires. Therefore, in the eyes of Tian Ba and others, as well as Long Jinchuan, the runes in Qin Yun's hands are very awesome. Previously, Gao Linqing respected Xiao Qihong very much because he saw how powerful the Yu Heavenly Talisman is. In Gao Linqing's eyes, a low-class person like Xiao Qihong should not be able to control such powerful runes. Runes are the foundation of power. Many powerful divine tools cannot be separated from the energy of runes. Even the operation of the myriad realms' divine sun needs to rely on runes. However, the 9-Sun Law spirit has already fused with the runes very naturally, so it can't be felt. Qin Yun knows that the divine sun cultivation method is also a kind of rune. That is why MOMO can absorb it. Brother Chin, you are an inscription master. You should know that even if you want to impart powerful runes, you need to learn them first. In our universe, you need a certain bloodline to be able to control them. Long Jin Chuan said again. For example, only the imperial family of the empire. Only the imperial family can use those powerful runes. Brother Jin Chuan, I need a lot of equipment. Although I can refine them myself, I need a lot of time and energy. Qin Yin said. Long Jin Chuan is somewhat embarrassed. He said, Brother Qin, it is not that I don't want to help you. It is that even our 9-dragon empire can't spare enough inscription masters. Qin Yin said with smile, I only want you to help me forge the armor and weapons. Leave the matter of carving runes to me. I will provide the materials. Long Jin Chuan's eyes lit up. He said, because we don't have enough outstanding inscription masters, our craftsmen are very good. They can forge materials very well. Even if we don't add runes, they will still have very good defense. Power. 9-dragon empire has a lot of army. It is impossible to carve runes on every soldier's equipment. They don't have that many outstanding inscription masters. Inscription masters are very hard to find, but craftsmen can be nurtured. Moreover, they can nurture a lot of them. Roughly how many divine universe heavenly bones do you need to make a set of armor? Qin Yun asked. He has more than 200,000 gene of divine universe heavenly bones. There are many grades. The lowest grade is 100 gene divine universe heavenly bones. Better ones are 1,000 gene, 2,000 gene, 3,000 gene, and so on. Even better ones are made with 10,000 gene divine universe heavenly bones. Long Jin Chuan said. Chapter 3089. Qin Yin took out the armor and weapons of the dragon warriors and placed them on the ground for Long Jin Chuan to see. Brother Jin Chuan, can you take a look and see how many divine universe heavenly bones are used in these armors? Qin Yin asked. This is divine universe heavenly dragon bone, about 100 kilograms. This is equivalent to 250 kilograms of ordinary divine universe heavenly bone. Long Jin Chuan looked and said, the weapons are 50 kilograms of divine universe heavenly dragon bone. Therefore, the equipment of the dragon warriors was very strong. 9th layer of the divine space realm. What level is this equipment? Qin Yin asked. He didn't know much about the world beyond the 9th layer of the divine space realm. Long Jin Chuan looked at Tying Ba and the others and smiled. These friends from the Great Blue Empire should know better. Tying Ba smiled bitterly. 9th layer divine space realm is not qualified to use this kind of equipment. That was why Tying Ba was overjoyed when he obtained a set of equipment from the Empire. Qin Yin thought about it. There would be a total of 5,000 ordinary 9-dragon warriors, and each of them needed a set of good equipment. The consumption would be great. Brother Jin Chuan, I don't need so many 9-dragon warriors for now. Wait until I equip these 300 warriors, train them, and obtain more resources. Then I'll think about the next batch. Qin Yin now has a headache thinking about equipment. Old brother Qin, actually we can do this. You can equip and train these 300 warriors first, and I will continue to recruit warriors in the 9th tier of the divine space realm over at the 9 Dragons Kingdom. I will train them to the peak of the 9th tier of the divine space realm, and then bring them here, Long Jin Chuan said. Long Jin Chuan said, at that time, you should have a lot of harvest on your side, right? Qin Yin nodded. All right, let's do this. I will give you 150,000 kilograms of divine, universe, heavenly bone. Help me make 300 sets of equipment, each with 250 kilograms of divine, universe, heavenly bone. Long Jin Chuan was shocked. 250 kilograms of divine, universe, heavenly bone equipment was very good. 9th layer divine space realm warriors were not qualified to use this level of equipment, because when forging, besides 250 kilograms of divine universe heavenly bone, other materials would be added, so the whole set of equipment would be even more powerful. Even Ba Taiyin and the others were taken aback. 309 dragon warriors with bloodline heavenly patterns were wearing this kind of equipment. Wouldn't they be unstoppable in the world of the 9th tier of the divine space realm? What Qin Yin wanted was a powerful army. Only then would he be able to obtain more divine universe goldstones in the divine desolate. When he faced the Daluo Empire and the other kingdoms, he would be able to push them over. "Can I?" asked Qin Yin. "That's absolutely possible. With such a batch of divine universe, heavenly bones for us to forge, we can raise the level of our craftsmen." "That's great," Long Jinchuan said. "During the forging process, I'll choose the best of the other materials to be added as a gift." "Brother Qin." "Many thanks," Qin Yun said with smile. Long Jinchuan can already imagine the scene of Qin Yun leading the 309 dragon warriors to battle everywhere. They will surely cause chaos in those kingdoms and great Luo Empire. Qin Yun had given him 150,000 genes of divine universe heavenly bone dragon gold chuan. He still had quite a few in his hands. Moreover, he also had the divine universe heavenly bones of elite warriors. Those were the best, and he wanted to keep them for himself. He can repair the armors and weapons of the dragon warriors and give them to Ba Taiyin and the other brothers. Ba Taiyin and the other brothers are Qin Yun's personal guards. They must be strong enough. Qin Yun is still unable to create a strong enough Yu Clan Heavenly Talisman. Otherwise, with the Yu Clan Heavenly Talisman, his army would be even stronger. Let's call them the Divine King Army. I will make them the strongest army in the Divine Desolate. Qin Yun said, "It is truly their good fortune to be able to follow old brother Qin." Long Jinchuan said with smile, "Old brother Qin, I will definitely complete the task you entrusted to me." Qin Yun nodded and said, "I will bring them back to train now. We will meet again next time." Qin Yun took out the heaven-leaping shuttle and let the 309 dragon warriors enter the warehouse. Then he brought Ba Taiyin and the others and flew towards the heavenly fire treasure land. Inside the warehouse, Ba Taiyin and the others began training the youths. Knowing that Qin Yun wants to lead them to fight the Daluo Empire's warriors, their blood immediately boiled, because they are all trash from the middle world. Now, someone actually thinks highly of them and wants to take them to fight the Empire. Moreover, he even made them so strong. Ba Taiyin and the others didn't tell these youths about the equipment so that they wouldn't be lazy just because they have the equipment. These youths definitely know that the Empire's equipment is very strong. They are now very clear that if they meet the Empire's warriors, they will have to fight with their lives on the line. Therefore, they train themselves crazily from the beginning. Qin Yun is in the main control room, thinking about his next cultivation plan. He has a lot of divine universe golden stones, but he hasn't calculated what realm he can cultivate to, because in the later realms, he might need even more divine universe golden stones. The Daluo Empire and the other kingdoms have begun to make arrangements in the divine desolate. Other powerful races have appeared one after another. For the time being, he still doesn't know where they stand. Qin Yun still doesn't know how strong the powerful races after the 8th divine sun appeared and how the treasured lands they possess are. He has already arranged for the Heaven Secrets sect to investigate. He also checked the situation of the other treasured lands, such as the Heavenly Fire Treasure Land and the Heavenly Fox Mountain Range. If the original treasured lands and powerful races were taken care of after the 8th divine sun appeared, then the native humans of the divine desolate would still be very strong. Qin Yun is sitting on a chair in the main control room. Yu Yaoyao and Long Shu are sitting beside him. Although he is hugging two great beauties on his left and right, he is thinking about something in a daze. However, his hands are not in a daze. They are gently caressing the beauty's jade-like skin. "Scum husband, I just threw myself into your embrace, and you already slept with Queen Long Shu." Yu Yaoyao's face is filled with hidden bitterness. "Xiao Yunyan didn't sleep with you. How my scum?" Long Shu said with smile. "Elder sister Long Shu, if you and husband have a child, will it be an egg or a child?" Yu Yaoyao asked curiously. "I don't know. It should be a child directly." Long Shu caressed Qin Yun's handsome face and said with smile, "Xiao Yunyan, do you want to know? We have to work hard. We will know once we have a child." Qin Yun is somewhat speechless. He forcefully pinched Yu Yaoyao and Long Shu's waist and said with smile, "When we get to the heavenly fire treasure land, I will have to go into seclusion for a period of time. During this period, you must properly cultivate. When I come out, I will become very strong. Do you want me to go into seclusion with you?" Yu Yao Yao charmingly looked at Qin Yun and said with smile, "No need. You should properly cultivate in the heavenly fire treasure land. That is a very good treasure land. It will allow you to become even stronger." Qin Yun said with smile, "I will also release a great formation to absorb the energy of the myriad realms divine Sunday. It should have even better effects." Chapter 3090. Nine Dragon Kingdom won't be able to finish crafting equipment so quickly. Qin Yun has already agreed with Long Jin to send people to Fog Moon City from time to time to inquire about the progress. Yu Yao Yao also doesn't plan to return to Yu Ancient Clan. She has already been driven out, and those kingdoms and Great Luo Empire all know that she has a good relationship with Qin Yun. If she returns to Yu Ancient Clan and helps Qin Yun in the future, it will definitely implicate Yu Ancient Clan. "Husband, I want to go to the 5th Divine Sunday. The 8th Divine Sun has come out, and the other Divine Suns have also greatly improved. The 5th Divine Sun is the cultivation place of Little Kuan Peng. I want to take Little Kuan Peng there to take a look." Yu Yao Yao said, "Yao Yao, can you also cultivate inside the 5th Divine Sun?" Long Shu asked. I can use the special energy released by Little Kuan Peng to cultivate. I also need to quickly become stronger so that I won't be able to help husband in the future." Yu Yao Yao said with smile, "Big Sister Yang is inside the 5th Divine Sunday. If you see her, help me send my regards to her, and then ask her to help me pass a message to the Nine Suns Dharma Spirit." Qin Yun said, "Even if it's about borrowing the path from Nine Dragon Kingdom." "All right." Yu Yao Yao also knows about Yang Shuriwei. Divine Desolate knows very little about Nine Sun Divine Maiden. He only knows that Qin Yun's wife Xiao Yuelan and her sister Xiao Yuemei are two of the Nine Sun Divine Maiden. He doesn't know much about the other Nine Sun Divine Maiden. And Yu Yao Yao often brings Nine Sun Kuan Peng to the 5th Divine Sun, so she knows that Yang Shuriwei is inside the 5th Divine Sun's core, but she has never met her. "Be careful on the road," Qin Yun warned. "With Little Kuan Peng here, what's there to be afraid of?" Yu Yao Yao laughed. "She's truly not afraid at all." Qin Yun sent her out of the heaven-leaping shuttle, and then she flew towards the 5th Divine Sunday. Qin Yun doesn't know how strong Nine Sun Kuan Peng is because Nine Sun Kuan Peng has entered the 5th Divine Sun several times. Xiao Yun, little monkey, is very anxious. He wants to revive quickly. Long Shu smiled and said, "If it's convenient for you, please help him so that he can be reborn quickly. Let's talk about it when we get to Sky Fire Treasure Land. I want to see if Sky Fire Treasure Land has been strengthened because of the appearance of the 8th Divine Sun. If Sky Fire Treasure Land has also been strengthened, then I will use Sky Fire Treasure Land to let the little monkey be reborn." Qin Yun said, "However, when the time comes, he might have the bloodline of the Fire Tribulation crazed race. No problem, as long as he can be resurrected. I need a good helper." Long Shu said, "Long Shu, what happened to your Tree Dragon tribe and the little monkey's Monkey Dragon tribe?" Qin Yun asked. When asked about this, Long Shu sighed and said, "They all died in the Heavenly Fate Dragon Lake." "Is the Destiny Dragon Lake really gone?" Qin Yun gently held Long Shu's hand and comforted her. "Don't worry, the Tree Dragon race will definitely reappear in Divine Desolate. The Destiny Dragon Lake has been destroyed, but the Dragon Emperor said that it's closely related to the Dragon Bloodline Heavenly Pattern Box." Long Shu said, "Maybe we can use the Dragon Bloodline Heavenly Pattern Box to make the Destiny Dragon Lake reappear." Qin Yun nodded and said, "I will definitely study it carefully. Only with the Destiny Dragon Lake can we gather all the dragons in Divine Desolate and unify the dragon race. If the dragon race could grow up, they would definitely become one of the strongest races in Divine Desolate. Therefore, the Great Luo Empire wanted to control the dragon race. If they couldn't control it, they would split the dragon race. The Great Luo Empire had already done that. The dragon race was already divided and became a pile of loose sand. However, the heavenly dragon emperor was killed by the great Luo Empire, and the Destiny Dragon Lake was destroyed. This memory would be passed down by the various dragon races, branded into their bloodline, and turned into inherited memories. The great Luo Empire split the dragon race, so the seeds of hatred were planted in the dragon race's inherited memories. To the dragon race, the heavenly dragon emperor was their spiritual leader, and the Destiny Dragon Lake was their holy land. The heavenly dragon emperor made the dragon race feel equal. Many mixed blood dragons were able to enter the Destiny Dragon Lake and become even stronger. Purebred dragons also advanced by leaps and bounds because of the Destiny Dragon Lake. However, the Destiny Dragon Lake was destroyed. This is the treasure land of the dragon race. Such a great hatred is something that the dragon race will never forget. The great Luo Empire also knows that they have drawn the hatred of the dragon race. However, they are not afraid because they have absolute confidence that they can ruthlessly suppress the dragon race. They will never let these powerful divine beasts rise again. They even want to use these divine beasts to suppress the powerful native races of Divine Desolate and suppress the rising human race. Qin Yin needs the help of the dragon race, but now the dragon race has been destroyed. Therefore, he must think of a way to unify the dragon race and create even more powerful dragons. The heaven-leaping shuttle shuttled through space from time to time and quickly arrived at the heavenly fire treasure land. The current heavenly fire treasure land has undergone an earth-shattering transformation. It is no longer like before when it was covered in magma and active volcanoes were everywhere. There are still many volcanoes in the heavenly fire treasure land. However, these volcanoes are very quiet, and the mountainside is filled with lush green trees. Looking from afar, the volcanoes are brimming with vitality. Originally, heavenly fire treasure land was filled with rivers of magma, but now there is no more magma. The rivers have turned into rivers that covered the entire heavenly fire treasure land. The heavenly fire treasure land is very big. There are hundreds and thousands of huge mountains, and there are also many open spaces. There are still some people from the Fire Tribulation Mad Race who are guarding the heavenly fire treasure land. They are unwilling to give up this treasure land. In fact, all the powerful races of Divine Desolate are unwilling to give up their treasure land. Even if they die, they want to die in their treasure land. Qin Yun's arrival caused many people from the Fire Tribulation Mad Race to cheer. After all, they are loyal to the Divine King. This loyalty is branded in their blood. Since birth, they have been loyal to the Divine King in their inherited memories. Hua Xiangquang is also in the heavenly fire treasure land. He has become very strong. He is already at the 8th level of the divine space realm. The strength of the Fire Tribulation Mad Race is that their bodies can turn into flames. Moreover, it is a flame that is very difficult to extinguish. Once one is entangled by their powerful flame bodies, it is very dangerous. Divine King, the heavenly fire treasure land has changed a lot. Especially after the appearance of the 8th divine sun, the energy inside the entire heavenly fire treasure land has clearly increased. After Hua Xiangquang saw Qin Yun, he immediately reported this matter. Very good, I will be staying in the heavenly fire treasure land for a period of time. Sorry for disturbing you. Qin Yun said with a smile. Divine King, we are very happy that you can come to the heavenly fire treasure land. When you found out that Divine Desolate was in danger, you immediately transferred us. This made us very touched. Hua Xiangquang said, from now on, the heavenly fire treasure land is yours. There is no such thing as disturbing. Chapter 3091. After Qin Yun arrived at heavenly fire treasure land, he could feel the changes and the abundant energy in this treasure land. He sighed, I shouldn't have let you abandon this treasure land. After all, this is the treasure land that nurtured you. Divine King, you are doing this for our own good. Heavenly fire treasure land is indeed our root. We cannot abandon it. Divine King, please allow us to return from the 4 divine sons. What Xiangquang said. Well, Xiangquang wanted to say this long ago, but he didn't dare because he knew that their clan must listen to the divine king. If it was before, I would definitely not allow it. But I defeated Strange Cat King City, and that is enough to deter those kingdoms. They won't act against the various clans of Divine Desolate for a short period of time. Qin Yun nodded. I will allow you to return. Thank you, Divine King. Hua Xiangquang quickly knelt down on one knee, but Qin Yun held him up. Soon after, Qin Yun released the 309 dragon warriors from the Heaven Leaping Shuttle. Patriarch Hua, these warriors will be training in Heaven Fire Treasured Land for a while. Arrange a place for them. Qin Yun said, they are all very dutiful. They will definitely not harass you. After Hua Xiangquang saw the group of youths, he was scared silly. They were all at the 8th or 9th level of the divine space realm. Moreover, their divine space power was very strong, and they had many divine universe heavenly bones. In Divine Desolate, they were absolutely super powerful existences. Having such a battle group in Heavenly Fire Treasure Land was a good thing for the clan because they could let their clansmen learn from them. After the group of 9 dragon warriors arrived at Heavenly Fire Treasure Land, they were amazed again and again because the environment here was much better than their 9 dragon kingdom. They could feel the abundant energy everywhere. In his opinion, in the 9 dragon kingdom, only the Emperor's city had this level of energy. The matter of training the 9 dragon warriors was handed over to Ba Taiyin and the others. Qin Yun also introduced them to Hua Xiangquang. Hua Xiangquang was secretly startled. He didn't expect that the Divine King would have such powerful experts by his side. When Qin Yun was in the 4 divine sons, he gave Hua Xiangquang many awakening talismans, so they all awakened their bloodline heavenly runes. If they returned to Heavenly Fire Treasure Land, they would grow even faster. It wouldn't be long before a group of powerful divine space realm warriors would appear. Clan leader Hua, have you come into contact with any other powerful clans during this period of time? Qin Yun asked. I've had some contact with them. They all know that I'm loyal to the Divine King. They all want to inquire about the Divine King's exact strength through me. Hua Xiangquang said, the various powerful races of the Divine Desolate still revere you, Divine King, but they don't plan to follow you for the time being. Qin Yun nodded and said, that's very normal. With the appearance of the 8th divine son, their treasured lands are stronger and their defenses are stronger. As long as they hide in their own treasured lands, it won't be easy for the great Luo Empire and the other kingdoms to breach them. They declared themselves kings, so they naturally didn't want to join my side. They definitely didn't want to listen to anyone else's orders. Of course, I have no intention of leading them. I just want to gather everyone's strength to resist the enemy. The divine wilderness has already changed. The foreign kingdoms and the Grand Luo Empire are making more and more moves there. Although the other powerful clans are safe, they're still on tenterhooks after leaving the treasured land. Hua Xiangquang said, as long as the 7 kingdoms and the Grand Luo Empire don't threaten their foundations, they won't resist with all their might. The powerful clans are currently safe, but the people of the divine wilderness who aren't born strong can only gather in a few cities. Those cities were built by the heaven-splitting ancient clan. Qin Yun said, the divine wilderness needs order. Hua Xiangquang asked, Divine King, are we going to negotiate peace with the 7 kingdoms and the Grand Luo Empire? Should we establish order and set rules together? No, the divine wilderness belongs to us. The 7 kingdoms and the Grand Luo Empire will have to listen to us in the divine wilderness. Qin Yun shook his head and said, they definitely won't negotiate with us. They want to completely conquer us. The 7 kingdoms and the Grand Luo Empire definitely want to plunder all the resources in the divine wilderness. They might even want to destroy the divine wilderness to prevent it from growing. Otherwise, if the living beings of the divine wilderness break through and reach the upper levels, the 7 kingdoms and the Grand Luo Empire will face a calamity. They definitely won't let the divine wilderness grow. Patriarch Hua, if the patriarchs of other powerful clans want to see me, You must find out what their goal is and whether they want to join the Seven Kingdoms or not. Qin Yun said, previously, there were powerful clans that secretly helped the cat-eared people capture the people of the divine wilderness. The Heaven Secret Sect is already investigating and will soon determine which clan it is. When the time comes, hand it over to our fire tribulation mad race. Hua Xiangquang said, he is also very angry about this matter. Not only did the powerful clans of the divine wilderness not save the people of the divine wilderness, they even helped the enemy capture the people of the divine wilderness. What is the center of the heavenly flame treasured land used for? Qin Yun asked. The center is a forbidden area. It's mainly used to nurture clansmen. No clansmen have been born for a very long time. I don't know why. Take me there, Qin Yun said. Ba Tayin and the others brought the 9 dragon warriors to an open space to set up camp. Qin Yun and Long Shu followed Hua Xiangquang to the center of the heavenly flame treasured land. The center of the heavenly flame treasured land is a very large lake of fire essence, which makes Long Shu feel that it is somewhat similar to the heavenly fate dragon lake. Our clansmen will come to this lake every once in a while and then pour a large amount of soul power into it. The lake will gather the blood and soul and then give birth to a fetus. Hua Xiangquang pointed to the center of the lake and said, if it succeeds, a bubble of fire essence will appear in the center of the lake and the bubble will float. In the past, there were a large number of bubbles floating above the lake. They were all fetuses. After a certain period of time, the fetuses will come out. They are about 4 or 5 years old. Every powerful clan's method of reproduction is different. Some use their own blood and soul, combined with the power of heaven and earth to give birth to fetuses. Some use the combination of male and female. There are also some powerful clans that use both methods. Qin Yun looked at the lake, then looked at the sky and asked, since when did no fetuses appear? After the 7th divine sun appeared, it gradually decreased until the 8th divine sun appeared. Then there were no more fetuses. Hua Xiangquang said, could it be that the 9 suns' lost spirit has given up on us? Qin Yun shook his head and said, no. During this period of time, too many powerful clans have been born. They have seized the life force of most of the myriad realms' divine suns. In the following period of time, the life force will lean towards the newly born powerful clans. It seems that you have to evolve a new method of reproduction as soon as possible. If you can't evolve it, you will face the danger of extinction. Chapter 30-92. Hua Xiangquang's expression changed greatly in fright. He completely believed Qin Yun's words. Divine King, has our fire tribulation mad race been abandoned by the 9 sun lost spirit? What are we going to do in the future? Hua Xiangquang is immediately filled with worry. Qin Yun is not just scaring Hua Xiangquang. He is also very shocked after discovering this point. Every time a myriad realms divine sun appears, a group of powerful races will be born in divine desolate. However, these powerful races could not exist forever. At a certain time, they would have to evolve and have their own way of reproduction. Most of these races are born with the help of the 9 sun lost spirit, and it is impossible for the 9 sun lost spirit to help these races reproduce forever. Therefore, at the appropriate time, it will stop and let these races live and die on their own. Powerful races that were unable to reproduce would eventually go extinct due to the lack of new blood. Races that can reproduce are the result of their own hard work and evolution. Naturally, they can continue to exist in divine desolate. Qin Yun suddenly thought of many things. In the divine desolate heavens, many powerful races had obvious characteristics, even elemental characteristics. For example, the fire tribulation mad race is fire attribute. There are also water, wood, thunder, and so on. Although they have this attribute characteristic and can control attribute energy, they are indeed very strong. However, there is a big drawback: they will be restrained. If the fire tribulation mad race meets a powerful water attribute race, they will definitely be restrained. If they start a war, the fire tribulation mad race will be exterminated very quickly. Or if a sudden water natural disaster appears, it will be a calamity for the fire tribulation mad race. Qin Yin did not answer Huo Xiangquang because he thought of something even more dreadful. The Nine-Sun Law Spirit created many powerful races and laid out a very complicated plan to resist Great Luo Empire, allowing the living beings of Divine Desolate to have a relatively stable environment. However, this does not mean that the Nine-Sun Law Spirit is benevolent. It is also very cruel. After all, there's so many powerful races in Divine Desolate. If they're gone, then so be it. The Nine-Sun Law Spirit will not feel any heartache. The Nine-Sun Law Spirit mainly wants to use Divine Desolate to create even more powerful races and use them to resist Great Luo Empire and Divine Sun descendants. There are many powerful races. The Nine-Sun Law Spirit cannot nurture them one by one. It requires a lot of energy. Moreover, it can easily make the powerful races lazy and make them rely on the Nine-Sun Law Spirit. In that case, this kind of powerful race would definitely be the lazy kind. If the Nine-Yang Law Spirit wanted to create a truly strong race, then it would definitely use the cruelest method to make the strong race evolve. If a strong race could survive to the end and reproduce, it would be considered a success. In this cruel elimination, if a strong race died, then so be it. On the contrary, a large amount of resources could be freed up and given to other stronger races. So this is the true change in the divine wilderness. Qin Yin looked into the sky with an extremely solemn expression. God King, what's going on? Huo Xiangquang panicked even more. Xiao Yun, is something big going to happen? Long Shu also asked hurriedly. Qin Yin nodded and said, in the near future, the gods desolate will become hell. Furthermore, it will be constantly changing. There will be all sorts of extremely vile weather or calamities. Is this the doing of the Daluo Empire? Huo Xiangquang clenched his fists and said with a frown, is the Daluo Empire still not satisfied with the current situation? Long Shu cursed in low voice. Does it want to destroy all the races in the gods desolate? Qin Yin shook his head and said with a sigh, this is the doing of the Nine-Yang Law Spirit. All the races in the gods desolate, if they don't evolve and adapt to the environment of the gods desolate, they will eventually go extinct. Long Shu and Huo Xiangquang are startled. They immediately thought of something. If a strong race can still stand tall after so many calamities, then it must be a very powerful race in the gods desolate. The Nine-Yang Law Spirit created all sorts of races and living beings in the gods desolate, but it doesn't know what kind of race is stronger and more worthy of nurturing. So it used this cruel method to select all kinds of races. Qin Yun is very sure that the Nine-Yang Law Spirit would do this because he, Qin Yun, has experienced the torture of 9 lifetimes and 9 lifetimes. The Nine-Yang Law Spirit is behind this. The Nine-Yang Law Spirit did not show any mercy to Qin Yun. If Qin Yun cannot survive, the Nine-Yang Law Spirit will not help him. If he dies, then so be it. When will it begin? Long Shu asked. I don't know when it will begin, but many of the powerful races in the gods desolate must be facing the problem of reproduction. They can't reproduce, and they can't survive the calamity of the Nine-Yang Law Spirit. They will eventually go extinct. Qin Yun said. Huo Xiangquang took a few deep breaths. He who was originally filled with fear suddenly calmed down. His eyes are tranquil as he looked at the fire-liquid lake. Qin Yun can roughly foresee what will happen to the gods desolate. Even those kingdoms and Great Luo Empire will not have an easy time. I might be able to help you reproduce. Qin Yun saw that Huo Xiangquang has calmed down and said, Divine King, many thanks for telling me this. Huo Xiangquang suddenly said with a carefree smile, our fire tribulation crazy race doesn't need Divine King's help. We will rely on ourselves to evolve and reproduce. Qin Yun said with a smile, I believe you will succeed. He knew that Huo Xiangquang would understand this point. Only by surviving in the midst of cruelty can they become a truly strong race. Although the fire tribulation crazy race is loyal to Qin Yun, they also have the heart to become strong. Therefore, they must rely on themselves. Hua Xiangquang believes that it is a rare opportunity for him to know this kind of heavenly mystery in advance. It is the greatest help Qin Yun can give them. Nine Sun Lost Spirit did not give up on them. It wants to temper them. However, this kind of tempering is very cruel. If they can't endure it, it will be a calamity. Divine King, have you also experienced it? Hua Xiangquang suddenly asked. Long Shu also looked at Qin Yun. She knows that Qin Yun must have experienced a lot to be able to mature to this day. Yes, I have experienced the tempering of 9 lifetimes. It can be said to be extremely cruel. There are many memories that are still my nightmares. I have experienced many painful experiences. All of them were indirectly plotted by 9 Sun Lost Spirit. Qin Yun said, 9 lifetimes and 9 lifetimes. Long Shu and Hua Xiangquang are emotionally moved. No wonder he could become Divine King. No wonder he was recognized by 9 Sun Lost Spirit. Then what about now? Has 9 Sun Lost Spirit's test ended? Long Shu asked. It ended a long time ago. 9 Sun Lost Spirit has already severed ties with me. My Divine King Heavenly Seal can no longer obtain the energy of myriad realms Divine Sunday, Qin Yun said. Long Shu and Hua Xiangquang are somewhat puzzled. They looked at each other in dismay. Because in their opinion, after passing 9 Sun Lost Spirits test, it should not be like this. Chapter 30-93. Hua Xiangquang and Long Shu are puzzled for a moment, but immediately understood the reason. That is because Qin Yun doesn't need to rely on 9 Sun Lost Spirit or myriad worlds Divine Sunday. In other words, after Qin Yun passes 9 Sun Lost Spirits test, it is very likely that he will obtain the supreme inheritance of 9 Sun Lost Spirit. He will be able to rely on himself and won't need any help from 9 Sun Lost Spirit. 9 Sun Lost Spirit's help to Qin Yun is mainly guidance. Then, how powerful is Qin Yun now? Hua Xiangquang naturally can't see through him. He is very clear that this Divine King's power cannot be judged by cultivation. Long Shu also can't see through Qin Yun. Although she slept with him before, she still knows nothing about his power. Clan leader Hua, do you still want this lake? Qin Yun asked. No, we will definitely find a way to reproduce. Hua Xiangquang said, this is actually not difficult. If other strong races can do it, so can we. The difficult part is how to face the 9 Sun Lost Spirits calamity. Long Shu asked, will the other kingdoms and the Daluo Empire be unable to avoid the calamity that the 9 Suns Dharma Spirit brings? Qin Yun nodded and said, that's for sure. 9 Sun Lost Spirit did not say that it will target the kingdoms and Great Luo Empire, but the entire Divine Desolate. Even Divine Moon will be affected. For Divine Desolate, this has both advantages and disadvantages. After all, we were created by 9 Sun Lost Spirit. If 9 Sun Lost Spirit takes away our lives, we will accept it. Hua Xiangquang is very open-minded. When will the calamity descend? Long Shu is very worried because she is still thinking about how to unify the dragon race. She hopes that the entire dragon race can be unified and pass through this tempering together. Long Shu, the dragon race will experience a great cleansing. It won't be too late to unify them after that. Of course, the other dragon race will definitely be very strong, so you must improve along with them. Qin Yun said, I will. Long Shu looked at the sky and said again, then will we be safe inside the heavenly fire treasure land? What will happen after the calamity descend? According to my understanding of the 9 Suns Dharma Spirit, after the 9th Divine Sun appears and creates a group of powerful races, the 9 Suns Dharma Spirit will use the 9 Suns World Extermination Scripture to crazily destroy the divine desolate heavens. All the treasure lands, all the gathering places of life will be destroyed. Qin Yun said, if I'm not wrong, there's not much time left for everyone. The 8th Divine Sun had just appeared, and it wouldn't be long before the 9th Divine Sun appeared. After the appearance of the 9th Divine Sun, I thought that the divine wilderness would be at its most prosperous. I didn't expect it to be like this. Long Shu sighed. In fact, even the all heavens divine desolate will undergo earth-shaking changes, said Qin Yun. He had lived through 9 lives and had experienced the destruction of the 9 suns many times, so he was already used to it. The 9 suns had tormented the earth many times, mainly to make living beings stronger. But even so, the humans in the divine wilderness were still very insignificant people of the lower class. In Qin Yun's life, he had gone from a very weak human to the divine space realm step by step. God King, what do you need this lake for? Huixiang asked. I want to revive a friend. Qin Yun looked at Long Shu. Long Shu immediately took out the soul pearl and handed it to Qin Yun. She said in surprise, Xiao Yun, are you going to revive the little monkey now? Yes, but after he is revived, he might no longer be a monkey dragon. Qin Yun said, maybe he will become a real monkey. It doesn't matter. In any case, I have never seen him as a dragon. He doesn't look like a dragon at all. It's not bad to be a real monkey, Long Shu said. Qin Yun looked at Huixiang Kuang and said, Clan leader Hua, your fire tribulation crazed race is reproducing. You shouldn't build a cart behind closed doors. God King, please advise us, Huixiang Kuang asked. He knew that Qin Yun was only pointing them in the right direction and not directly helping them. In the future, there will be many calamities and tribulations that will target your weaknesses. In the all heavens divine desolate, there are many fire attribute races. There will definitely be calamities and tribulations that can restrain you. Qin Yun said, yes, ordinary water attribute power is not harmful to us. But if a sufficiently powerful water attribute power attacks us, we will definitely lose. Huixiang Kuang nodded and said, therefore, you are currently a strong race with a very big weakness. You should have been eliminated. If you can evolve a power that can resist and restrain you, then you will have succeeded. Qin Yun said, if you want to evolve even more perfectly, you'll have to target your own weakness to make a breakthrough. You can find other races to combine with, and think of a way to combine with them. Huixiang Kuang said, God King, I understand. Long Shu asked doubtfully, can we really combine? Isn't it very difficult for different races to combine? You are a tree dragon. How can it be impossible for you to combine such a strange attribute? Qin Yun said with a smile. Then what strong race should the fire tribulation crazed race find to combine with in order to evolve even better? Long Shu asked. Find a strong race that can restrain them, or find a strong race that can restrain water. Qin Yun said, a strong race that can restrain the fire tribulation crazed race will definitely be able to suppress them. If the fire tribulation crazed race can't combine with a strong race that can restrain them, then they will be exterminated in the end. Huixiang Kuang nodded his head and said, therefore, we must do our best to conquer those powerful clans that are at odds with us in terms of attributes. The Nine-Yang Dharma spirit is forcing the various powerful clans to engage in special exchanges. This can indeed force us to strengthen ourselves. Then you should quickly go, Qin Yun said. Yes. Huixiang Kuang immediately left. Qin Yun released 9 dragon altars and surrounded the lake. Then he threw the Monkey King's soul pearl into the lake and let it float in the middle. Soon after, Qin Yun took out the Divine King Heavenly Seal and a Bloodline Heavenly Pattern Box. This Bloodline Heavenly Pattern Box was given to him by Luo Yaofeng. It is a black Bloodline Heavenly Pattern Box. Taisher said that the power inside the Bloodline Heavenly Pattern Box contains a bit of evil nature. However, this evil nature can be suppressed. As long as one can use this evil nature well, they can obtain a very formidable power. The reason why Qin Yun chose this box is because he believes that he can suppress the Monkey King's evil nature. And the Monkey King can use the hatred of the dragon race's extermination to maximize the evil nature's power. Qin Yun and Taisher discussed it. Taisher believes that it is not a big problem and can give it a try. The Divine King Heavenly Seal pressed on the Black Bloodline Heavenly Pattern Box and imprinted on the Monkey King Soul Pearl. Then the entire Soul Pearl fell into the fire liquid lake. Soon after, Qin Yun floated in the air and used the divine king heavenly seal to imprint many times on the fire liquid lake. Each and every imprint transformed into runes that form a great formation. Very soon, the entire fire liquid lake gradually turned black. The nine-dragon heavenly origin formation began absorbing the energy of the myriad realms' divine sun and then channeling the energy into the lake. Chapter 3094. Seeing Qin Yun resurrect the Monkey King, Long Shu let out a sigh of relief. The Monkey King was like her younger brother, her relative, and the Heavenly Dragon Emperor was her older brother, but he was completely killed and his soul destroyed. Long Shu hopes that the Monkey King can be resurrected quickly because she wants to join hands with her younger brother to take revenge. Furthermore, she doesn't want the Monkey King to miss the opportunity to grow. You cultivate on the side. It will still take some time for the little monkey to be reborn. Qin Yun touched Long Shu's face and said, I will be entering seclusion. I might not come out for a long time. Is there anything you want me to do? Long Shu asked. I have already arranged it. If Fogmoon City needs it, someone will come here to inform you and Brother Ba. They will tell you to go to Fogmoon City or Nine Dragon Kingdom and deliver the things here. Then, the information from the Heaven Secret Sect spies will most likely reach here. If there is something important, you just need to hit the Nine Sun Heaven Raising Pagoda 3 times. Qin Yun took out the Nine Sun Heaven Raising Pagoda and placed it next to the Flaming Lake. The Nine Sun Heaven Raising Pagoda has been refined with a large amount of divine universe, heavenly bone, and has become very sturdy. Even after being attacked by Long Shu, it was not damaged at all. I understand. After Long Shu finished speaking, she hugged Qin Yun and her body became very warm. Xiao Yun, you understand. Long Shu leaned into Qin Yun's embrace and whispered. Of course Qin Yun understands. He can only bring this hot dragon queen into the Nine Sun Heaven Raising Pagoda. The two of them had a very sweet night. Long Shu left the Nine Sun Heaven Raising Pagoda in satisfaction and went outside. She also needs to cultivate. Qin Yun said that the Nine-Dragon Heavenly Origin formation would be very helpful to her and told her to properly cultivate now. Qin Yun did not start cultivating inside the Nine Sun Heaven Raising Pagoda because that asterisk spirit Ling Yun kept pestering him. After being tormented by Long Shu for a whole night, Qin Yun is still full of energy. He was intimate with Ling Yun for a while. Ling Yun also cultivated the Sun and Moon Heart Sutra with Qin Yun in passing, allowing Qin Yun's upper limit of Divine Universe power to increase by 100. Qin Yun's current Divine Universe power is 3,000. Xiao Yuelon said that cultivating Sun and Moon Heart Sutra can increase Qin Yun's upper limit of Divine Universe power every once in a while. Qin Yun had increased by 100 the last time. This time, it increased by another 100. However, this speed of increase was not essential to him. Ling Yun herself has also improved, so she is very happy with the Nine Sun Divine Spirit. It is said that she has now found her own cultivation path. She also cultivates Nether Sun, so she can absorb a lot of Divine Sun energy from the Nine Sun Divine Spirit. Moreover, she can also transfer Divine Cosmos power to Qin Yun. Because she could be considered to have been created by Qin Yun, and she had also been Qin Yun's Tao spirit for a very long time, it caused her Divine Cosmos force to be extremely compatible with Qin Yun. If Qin Yun's Divine Cosmos power was insufficient, he could borrow Ling Yun's. This could be considered a kind of hidden power. Inside the Nine Sun Heaven Raising Pagoda, Qin Yun took out the Divine King Heavenly Seal and began cultivating. The cultivation of the Divine Universe Heavenly Bone and Soul energy consumed a great deal of Divine Universe Metal Stone. As for increasing his Divine Cosmos force, he would be able to continuously increase his cultivation. This was actually the most cost-effective thing to do. Your Divine Cosmos power seems to have some special situation, Taisher said after carefully inspecting Qin Yun's Divine Cosmos power. The corners of Qin Yun's eyes twitched. He is very worried that Taisher is thinking of a way to increase the Divine Universe Metal Stone. What special situation? Qingyun asked. He now needs 40 million Divine Universe Metal Stone to increase the upper limit of his Divine Cosmos power by 1 point. He is afraid that if a special situation occurs, it would cause him to need even more Divine Universe Metal Stone to increase the upper limit of his Divine Cosmos power. You are now at the 3rd level of the Divine Cosmos realm. Your Divine Cosmos power is 3,000. If you want to step into the 4th level, you need to increase your Divine Cosmos power to 6,000. Taisher said, Previously, when I was 2,800, I should have broken through after reaching 5,600. How did it increase to 6,000 now? Qingyun is somewhat surprised. This is a good thing for him. It means that his upper limit will be even higher in the future. During this period of time, you increase the upper limit of 200 Divine Cosmos power, causing this special situation. Taisher said. Qingyun is alarmed. He thought that the Divine Cosmos power increased by cultivating the Sun and Moon Heart Sutra was negligible. He did not expect that the increased Divine Cosmos power would actually exceed the limit, allowing his upper limit to be even higher. Taisher, answer me honestly. Will the Divine Universe Metal Stone I need to increase my Divine Cosmos power in the future increase? Qingyun asked. That's for sure. At the 3rd level of the Divine Cosmos realm, you have the Divine Cosmos Force of 3 Divine Cosmos Force. At the 4th level, you will have 4 Divine Cosmos Force. It is extremely likely that there will be a small increase, or it might remain the same. Taisher answered. All right, then let me increase to the 4th level of the Divine Cosmos realm first. Qingyun immediately began, and he chose to use the fastest speed, consuming large amounts of Divine Universe Metal Stone every day to cultivate. To increase the upper limit of the Divine Cosmos power, he had to use a portion of the Divine Universe power to strengthen the Divine Cosmos within his body. After consumption, he would use the Divine King Heavenly Seal to quickly replenish it, and then use it to strengthen the Divine Cosmos within his body. This way, he could cultivate quickly, repeating this many times, rapidly strengthening the Divine Cosmos within his body. The upper limit of the Divine Cosmos power would increase. In a blink of an eye, 10 days passed. Qingyun's upper limit of the Divine Cosmos power had already reached 6,000. It was indeed impossible to increase it any further. At this time, as long as the Divine Cosmos power within his body was fully replenished, he could break through. After breaking through to the 4th level of the Divine Cosmos realm, the Divine Cosmos within his body would be greatly strengthened. This meant that the upper limit of the Divine Cosmos power would increase by a large margin. Taisher said before that Qingyun would be in the first 3 levels of the Divine Cosmos realm. After breaking through, the upper limit of the Divine Cosmos power would be very high, but it would gradually decrease in the later stages. Qingyun consumed all the Divine Cosmos power to attack the Divine Cosmos within his body, strengthening the Divine Cosmos to the advanced stage, allowing him to condense 4 Divine Cosmos Force children. Upper limit of Divine Cosmos power, 7,000. Qingyun is quite satisfied with his current upper limit of Divine Cosmos power. You can directly cultivate it. Just leave some Divine Universe Metal Stone to replenish it. Taisher said, he is now advising Qingyun to increase his Divine Cosmos power. Currently, Qingyun's Divine Universe, Heavenly Bone, and Mental Cosmos power cultivation is not particularly needed. Increasing the upper limit of the Divine Cosmos power can allow Qingyun's cultivation realm to continuously increase. With the assistance of Qingyun's equipment, if he was at the 8th level of the Divine Cosmos realm, even if he encountered the dragon warriors of the Great Luo Empire, he would not be killed. Next, to increase the upper limit of 7,000 Divine Cosmos power, I will need to consume even more Divine Universe Metal Stone. Qingyun calculated and immediately felt his heartache. Although he currently has a lot of Divine Universe Metal Stone, with the speed at which he is consuming them, he is still very reluctant. He also doesn't know if he can earn that much back in the future. Qin Yin looked at the divine king heavenly seal and sighed inwardly. All the divine universe metal stone he earned over the years have basically been fed to this divine king heavenly seal. Fortunately, the divine king heavenly seal displayed an extremely powerful ability, so it was not fed in vain. You're tuning into the Warrior Lore YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.